If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again.
This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
T. Madden and Associates is a sophisticated and experienced law firm located in your neighborhood. We're turning injury to cash.
T. Madden and Associates obtained almost $2 million for my injury. They turned my injury to cash.
Now, we can't guarantee how much your injury is worth, but we've recovered millions for our clients.
Call T. Madden and Associates at 833-PAID-123. That's 833-PAID-123.
Stride K-12 powered schools are ready to put over 20 years of being a leader in online education to work for you. Dive into curriculum designed for the online classroom. Team up with state-certified teachers trained in virtual instruction. Take control of your child's education journey. Discover the power of personalized learning with a leader experienced in preparing kids for a future they can be excited about. Take charge. Stride K-12. Enroll now for the fall.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to a live edition of the ONG Strike Zone. I'm Bryan Fulford. That's Kelvin Rozier. And there at the bottom of the screen is Marcus Green. What up, fellas? How y'all doing this evening? Everybody awake?
Yep.
Hats off. Time to go
Yes,
to work.
sir. Yes, sir. I'm ready to go. I'm fresh.
Time to go to work. Audio's working. Look at that. Everybody's audio work. Hold on. Let's zoom in, Marcus. Let's take a look at this fresh hat there that your boy is wearing. Okay, wait. Okay. Oh, look at that. Okay. I thought he had one of those
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
8-town hats. Yeah.
I don't think y'all guys got the signal. Y'all got the signal? I'm just practicing just in case, you know.
We coming. We running down the ramp right now. Running down the ramp.
All right.
Hey, got you. I got my
I don't leave the house without my hat.
Hey, my hat and
Hey,
my
I'm
chair.
telling you, I don't need to answer without a hat no more. That's
A
right.
hat and a chair.
I got the signal to the validation.
Hey, good to see everybody's in good spirits.
Yes, sir.
Here we are on the middle of August, 18 days away from the Orange Blossom Classic and the start of the 2023 football season. It's good to be on with you guys tonight. We got a loaded show for you tonight. I mean, we got a lot of stuff, just a lot of news coming out of FAMU Athletics, a lot of accolades coming in for our football players, a lot of news, things just happening around FAMU. We got a loaded guest lineup coming up for you. We're going to introduce you to those who may not know. We're going to introduce you to our guests at the coming up at 8:20. The Honorable Mayor Booker Gainor, who is the Assistant Director of Branding, Communications, and Marketing for FAMU, as well as the Mayor of Cairo, Georgia. And I had to make sure I said it right. I had to look it up. It's called Cairo, not Cairo. Cairo's
there you
in
go.
Egypt.
You got it. I'm proud.
Cairo's in Egypt. It's Cairo. It's Cairo. I had to do some checking on that. So we will have him to talk about the FAMU Great Harvest Festival. That's going to be coming up next weekend, and also the kickoff event. So we're going to talk to him about that. Then at about 8:40, we're going to get into talking about the HBCU Band of the Year competition with the man who is in charge of putting together the judges, that exclusive panel of judges who will be judging and evaluating all the bands through the course of the year. He is none other than Marching 100 alum and former drum major Don P. Roberts, of course, one of the co-founders of DRUMLine Live. And we're going to talk to him. And then in hour 2, we're going to have Ken Riley II. Ken's going to join us as we continue to celebrate Hall of Fame member number 368, his father, Ken Riley Sr. So that's what's in front of us. And then somewhere in the midst of all that, we're going to find a way to talk about all these other things that we have going on. So let's do you guys ready? You guys got your water bottles and everything. You ready? This is going to be a good one, huh?
It's going to be a great one. We're covering all the bases.
I'm ready.
All right. Everybody's ready to roll. All right, so here we go. Checking in first in, we got Chuck Hunt, first one in the building. Oh. Checking in from Monroe, Louisiana. Chuck, good to see you jump in first. All right, there. Stephen Campbell, Mr. Campbell doing a quick check-in. Good to see you there. Tamara T, good evening. Montre Bennett, good evening. Good to see you. There she is. Melissa Wilson checking in. I'll say it, Melissa. Kelvin, okay, Kelvin must be asleep. See, I'm to the point where now when I see Melissa Wilson, I just gonna go Mary 305. How you doing, Mary? Good to see you. Tamara T, good to see you as well. Demetra Alford checking in. Good to see you, Demetra. Kenya checking in. How you doing, Kenya? Appreciate you. Bull, come on, let's go. I'm ready. Bull, we ready. Let's go. See, already we done lost Kelvin. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, James Austin. Who are the
questions off the bat?
Marcus, who are the new football coaches? Do you have that information ready so we can tell James?
As far as I know, the new secondary coach is Pat Watkins, Tallahassee legend at Lincoln High School, played at Florida State, and also played for the Cowboys in the NFL. So he's taking over the nickels for the retired Billy Roll. And from what I understand, the new special teams coach is former UAP, University of Arkansas Pine Bluff head coach Doc Gamble.
Oh, Doc Gamble, huh? Joining the staff, former head coach.
That's my understanding. So I think Coach Simmons is supposed to introduce the new staff either tomorrow or maybe he did it last week at the 220 QB Club.
Yeah,
but I saw that was upcoming, and I didn't get a chance to look at last week's. Well, I did listen to last week's meeting, but I didn't hear much about the staff, so I think it's tomorrow.
Well,
Actually, might have been today. Might have been today.
I was going to
Today's
say
Wednesday.
it might have been today. I didn't get a chance to finish checking or listening to the 220 Club today either. I was trying to glean some information off of that. So there you go, James. Already after bat. Bull on that bucket list. Well, we got the man coming up, Bull. So you're going to want to make sure to stay tuned and find out how you can get to the Grape Festival, the Grape Harvest Festival, I believe is the correct name. So there you go. Sam Dixie, good to see you. Sam, good to see you, Sam. Thanks for checking in.
I don't want to mispronounce his username because I don't want to get censored, but good to see Sam.
Okay, all right.
Because if I mispronounce it, it'll sound like something that might need to be beeped.
Oh, I got you. Deanna Foster, good to see you. Thanks for checking in as well. All right. Let's get off to a couple of things here, roundup style. The team had their first scrimmage over in Quincy on Saturday. What are some of the takeaways that we can pull from that scrimmage? And of course, I would encourage you, to make sure you guys are following Gerald Thomas at 3PG. Gerald's doing a great job with his Hard Knocks series. What are some takeaways, Kelvin, from that scrimmage, or just maybe these first week of practice?
All right, the first thing that comes to mind for me is quarterback play. That's this season, boiling down to three things from me, and I was looking for some growth with the quarterbacks right now based on the scrimmage. I didn't see that as much as I wanted to. There's still some turnovers that happen. And frankly, it looked similar to the spring game and last year. So I'm looking at that. We know the defense is deep and talented. We know we're deep. Play calling, Coach Simmons, play calling, the quarterback development, and then the kicking game. My understanding is that the kickers also, were hit and miss. So those are our three areas, and that's going to determine our season, whether we're good or great. And so we still got work to do. Luckily, we got time to do that work, though.
Any takeaways or anything that you were able to glean from what you read or saw out there, Marcus?
Basically, from what we're just reading, it sounds like the offense had some turnovers that were untimely. The defense, I guess, took advantage of the turnover, so that's one positive, that it's ball hawking, and probably just didn't. I guess I read somewhere the numbers that were given. I guess Coach Simmons, he didn't really say he's going to go back and look at the film, but to echo Kelvin, the kicking game, we're used to automatic, and it sounded as though they were like 50% at best between all the kickers kicking. So those two areas in terms of turnovers and the kicking game will win you or lose you games. So we need to get those tightened up. And we know that the kicking game, we're breaking in all new people. I mean, it's with the exception of the long snapper, Lawrence Martinez, and I guess they brought two other ones. So I guess they're giving them some comp. Other than that, everybody on special teams is brand new, at least brand new to FAMU.
Mm-hmm. I see EA's dropping some interesting comments here. How I don't want to overreact too early, to what you may see from Jeremy Musa. Okay. If we believe what we believe, that our defense is going to be elite, then he is going up against one of the best defenses in Black college football, maybe in the FCS. And that remains to be seen. So let's not overreact too much to what we see in these scrimmages. I know EA, referencing, wide open receivers being missed and things of that nature. I gotta believe you're working with guys all week, so when the lights come on, maybe and they're scrimmaging all week, so it's not like this isn't like a 11-on-0 kind of thing. They're working against defense all week, and so if that scrimmage is the worst performance, and I've been kind of following along with Gerald's comments, if that scrimmage was one of the worst looks that you got from Musa, okay, I'll be okay. I'll deal. But yes, we all know what we want to see. We all know the expectation. We all know the numbers. We all know where they need to be. And I didn't hear anybody mention anything about the running game. Anybody seeing or read or heard anything regarding the running game?
The only thing, yeah. Well, I did talk to some people who were at the scrimmage, and there were a few plays by. I know that they mentioned there was a few good runs, especially early on in the scrimmage from Kevin Dean, and I think the running backs looked fine. Again, Bryan, and this is where I disagree. It's not about the spring. I mean, about the first scrimmage. It's about collectively. Last year, all our games were on HBC Go this weekend, right? So I got to watch the Grambling game over, and I watched the South Carolina State game over, and the Alabama State game.
I wish you would have told me all these games.
So there's reason to be concerned.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So looking at that and looking at our road games. Yeah, looking at that and looking at our road games that we have this season. We got to see that growth, man. And also, I just don't believe. I'm just saying, I don't believe you can have a quarterback in today's game, especially in the SWAC, with the athleticism of the defense and the speed of the defense, that does not a dual threat, at least sometimes.
Right. All right. Before we get to our first guest, I want to remind everybody that again, the Orange Blossom Classic coming up in 18 days. Many of you, maybe you haven't purchased your tickets yet. Well, you can not only support our show, but you can also get a good rate on some good seats. Our friend Mike Reed, good old Road Dog, has through his website, justlookingout.com, you can purchase premium club level tickets in a section that is right behind the Marching 100. The Marching 100 is going to be in section 150. Mike's got seats not only in section 249, but 250. Those are the sections right behind the 100. So if you purchase a ticket in the club section, $109, great value for that ticket, because you get a chance to go inside, take in all the amenities in the club level. All you do is when you go to the site, justlookingout.com, use that code BCSN or StrikeZone, and you can go ahead and, a portion of the proceeds will go towards the show. We're working on, I was talking with some folks from the OBC. We're working on having a site there at the stadium where we'll actually be able to broadcast on Sunday through the BCSN Game Time show. So, and even possibly live post-game show. So a lot of opportunities there. Hopefully you guys are making the journey. We gotta show up. If this is the last one for some years, then we have to make a presence. We have to make people know that we value this classic and that FAMU is going to pack this place out. So my goal is to see 50,000. I'm hoping. I know 39 was last year. I think 45 is the goal, but I really feel like 50,000 can sell out this game this upcoming year. So there's the information there. Go check out justlookingout.com. All right, you fellas ready for our first guest this evening? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it. Bring
All right. Let's bring on our first guest of the night.
The honorable.
Right. Exactly. The honorable mayor of Cairo, Georgia. I gotta make sure I say it right. It's pronounced Cairo, not Cairo. Okay, Cairo, Georgia. But he's also the assistant director of branding and communications and marketing at Florida A&M University. I hope I said that right. Mayor Gainor, how you doing tonight?
I'm well, and yourself?
It's an honor to be talking to you, sir. Hey, you know what's funny is having never met and then after obviously doing a little research, I realized, oh wait a minute, we're talking to the mayor of Cairo, Georgia, and you've been the mayor for several years. So let's kind of, before we get into talking about the Grape Harvest Fest and that's obviously an event that you were heavily involved in. Let's kind of talk about that journey to graduating from FAMU, SBI, fellow SBI in here. So pleasure to be talking with a fellow SBIan. But going from SBI into politics and becoming a mayor, and then how you juggle it all, the responsibilities of being a mayor, and then putting in such great work with FAMU.
First of all, I'd just like to thank you, gentlemen, for allowing me this opportunity to share with you. To your first point, I was elected the youngest and the first African-American mayor of the city of Cairo. And as I often say, Cairo is in Georgia, Cairo is in Egypt. Cairo, as you may or may not know, is the home of the late Jackie Robinson and Teresa Edwards. So a lot of star power in that regard. As far as graduating from Florida A&M, Florida A&M was the only college that I applied for undergrad, my undergrad career. My grandmother, my family were all employed here and worked here. So it was a no-brainer as to what college that I was going to attend. Upon graduating from SBI in 2012, I returned back to Cairo and saw my city as if it was in a time capsule. Nothing had changed. It was still my same buddies hanging under the shade tree. We're in the same position. As far as buildings and businesses, it was all just stagnant. It took me some time to find my purpose at first, again, because I had never won first place in anything. I had never played sports or anything, although my family was very involved in sports, or in politics. I was not in the SGA, class president, or anything. Upon returning and seeing my home time as stagnant as it was, I realized I had to do something. It started out with doing community events at our local park, just feeding our community, back to school drives, Easter egg hunts, turkey giveaways. And the funny thing about it is I was actually employed as a cable guy. And upon working as a cable guy, I had a chance to talk to just about every walk of life in the city of Cairo, from the elite down to just the bottom of the bottom. And I was able to relate to them all. And I just realized that the plan was they wanted change and they wanted prosperity. I say that to say the story went on. Once I put my name on the ballot, I went on to win unconvincingly as the mayor of Cairo. So I became the youngest acting mayor in the state of Georgia right now. And to my understanding, the fourth youngest acting mayor in the country at this point.
Wow. Congratulations. Definitely. Congratulations.
As our President Robinson always say, you can go anywhere from Florida A&M. And I'm a living testament to that success story, because, again, I wasn't the fastest, the strongest, or even the smartest. It just over time, the skills and the experience I had at FAMU just gave me the confidence and empowered me to just be the individual that I am today.
Indeed. Indeed. Go ahead, Kelvin.
So I want you to talk about what you do at FAMU now, and the part of the reason you're on the show, and talk about the upcoming festival, and give us a little bit of background on it, and sell the folks on why they should come out and support it.
Thank you for that question. So I am currently the active assistant director, and it's a long title, for branding, communication, and marketing. More so with a focus on marketing in my department. I work up under our director, Mr. Keith Miles, the illustrious Keith Miles, I should say, the former voice of FAMU, and all his many roles and hat as his tenure while he's been here employed with the university. As far as the event that we're putting together, there are two. So I want you to understand that we have the 21st edition of the Great Harvest Festival, which will be on August 26th. Preceding the festival is the inaugural On Court. On Court will serve as the official kickoff for the Great Harvest Festival and a scholarship fundraiser for students in the university's 14 colleges and schools. So during that event, guests can enjoy wine from FAMU Center of Viticulture, local wineries, and even our title sponsor, Tarpon Cellars. During this time of mingling with distinguished guests, alumni, sponsors, faculty, students, and staff, participants will have the opportunity to bid on these silent auction memorabilia that you see here. So to my left, or maybe to your right on the screen, we have an autographed helmet from Coach Willie Simmons himself, as well as a football. No, this one didn't make it in the Boston Richie video, I should say. We also have autographed softball helmet from our coaches, as well as you see other memorabilia here. The band department would also be donating items as well as receiving artwork, and these items will be auctioned off for the deans to receive a scholarship needs proposal. So I explained that each dean was able to submit a scholarship needs proposal based on the strategic plan of the university. The top 3 highest scoring needs proposals will receive the funds from the silent auction. So this event does a number of things. It kicks off our annual Great Harvest Festival. It gives our band and our athletics a chance to raise funds for different budget items they may have throughout the year. And then it also provides scholarship funds for our students and faculty in our respective colleges and schools to give them the resources they need to make sure our students are succeeding each and every day.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can only imagine if you had found that helmet from that guy. That might have a little extra value in it too, along with an autograph. What he did.
Maybe he'll place a bid for the helmet.
Yeah, he should have autographed one anyway. Let me not start. Marcus, go ahead.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining us, Mr. Gainor. I guess my question is, as it relates to your current position, and I don't know if I remember the whole title, but it involves branding, communications, and marketing. What initiatives do you have coming up for this year, for this school year? And I guess a side question, in your role, marketing for the university, does that also include athletics, and is it separate? And if they're separate, how do you collaborate with the marketing person within athletics?
Gotcha. I take the latter question first as regarding to marketing with athletics. So they do have a world-class staff present in athletics from Josh Padilla to Rhea, who's actually the marketing coordinator. And this is one of the partnerships that we have of working together. So my role as assistant director for market branding and communication falls up under the Office of Communication. When it comes to branding, that's when I open it up to the university and continue to protect our brand and just try to get our brand in front of as many people as we possibly can.
Okay, well, thank you. And what initiatives do you have coming up this year for branding and marketing FAMU?
Exactly. A great question. So again, the initiative that I have for one would be the inaugural On Court. Again, this event just brings everyone to the table, the entire family, and we come together to support our strategic plan and our students. And my initiative moving forward after this event is just cultivating and fostering relationships that just build upon the reason why I chose FAMU from day one for undergrad, and then that fulfillment of my dream job of being employed here. So my initiative is just to share the love and the passion that I have for the community, for the university, and continuing to protect the brand, because we see oftentimes how it is often tried to be diminished in a sense, but we want to continue just shining the brightest light and amplifying the voice of our Rattlers across the nation, across the country at that, and just letting Rattler Nation know that we'll continue striking from the top.
Well, thank you.
Mayor Gainor, first off, let me let people know, of course, down there on the scroll is how you can purchase tickets to Uncorked, which is the opening evening activity or opening evening event from 6 to 8. Any what kind of the art garden now? It's been years since I've spent time in Tallahassee. What are some of the accompaniments or things can people expect when they come to Uncorked? Of course, outside of the silent auction, the live entertainment, when we say wine tasting, what other kind? Anything else that comes from this event that maybe carries on into the next evening?
Yes, so it would be a night of networking. So basically, what we wanted to do with this event is move beyond the FAMU campus and put it in a neutral side out into the community to engage the community and just continue to find other opportunities to where FAMU can partner just with any other local businesses that may be around in this area. So the Railroad District is pretty much maybe 2,000 feet away from FAMU Way. It's a nice, very nice area as far as a lot of different vendors. I would call it like a business incubator, so to say. A lot of people come in and have storefront shops and just try to really expand and have their business take off. So this gives FAMU a chance to see other things that our community is doing in an innovative business standpoint, but also just knowing that this relationship is more than just limited to our campus. We want to continue to engage our stakeholders, which includes the local community, elected officials, and just even down to our community leaders in the Tallahassee area and surrounding the area, the Big Bend area.
Mm-hmm. And then the following day is the 21st Great Harvest Festival. 21 years is a long time to do anything and do anything well. How does this event rate among the wine connoisseurs? I wish I was a wine connoisseur. Unfortunately, I haven't made it to that level of consumption yet. But as I get older, I may have to. But if you can, kind of share a little about the Harvest Festival and how it's grown and where it kind of sits among the connoisseurs and the wine community.
Gotcha. So the 21st edition of the Great Harvest Festival just shows a testament to how prominent this event is into the community. As you said, 21 years is a long time to do anything consistently. And the first time that we had a pause with the harvest was, of course, with COVID. The following year, we weren't able to do the Great Stumping, which is something everyone is interested in partaking in to see who can stump the grapes to provide the most juice. So we will be providing that experience back again for our participants who will be joining. The next thing is, there are a lot of different activities. This event is more so for awareness to show like the award-winning and national awards that our Center for Viticulture is leading in for small fruit research. And on top of that, it is to bring out the health community to just let our stakeholders be more aware of the research that we do at the Viticulture Center, but also just from the health benefits that they provide. So not only would our vendors, of course, include with food, but more so our health professionals are invited to attend and will be attendance for different health screenings, our local vendors. And then as far as for the wine connoisseurs, they are able to come in and showcase their local wine and homegrown wine or homemade wine, so to speak. And also have people a chance to promote, what they're doing locally in regards to wine and small fruits.
So, got a question from the chat room. One of our friends asked, how can folks buy some of the wine, the FAMU wine?
Okay, so unfortunately, we aren't able to sell the wine due to the fact that it's just for research purposes. However, you are able to consume it and taste it, whether you come into the Viticulture Center or the Uncorked event. So again, unfortunately, it is not for sale, but I can tell you it is some good wine.
And I mean, has that been talked about or proposed, or what would have to happen in order to be able to turn that into a revenue generating venture for the university?
The way my mind works is marketing wise. That was one of the questions that I had. Unfortunately, there's a lot more litigation involved and a few more steps and processes that will have to be implemented. So unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to answer that question per se. But again, it is something that, the first thing crossed my mind, how can we create a new revenue stream for the university that goes back into supporting the research that they are doing and then back into the student body as well.
Okay. Got another question. I'm going to play completely. I have no idea what this is, but I'm going to trust my road dog here. Does the school still sell the muscadine grape juices?
Unfortunately, I don't know. But I will tell you this: I went over to the Viticulture Center today, and I was able to enjoy the mustardine grapes today for a meeting we had preparing for the Great Harvest Festival. So as far as the juice, I tell him if he can leave his email information in the chat, maybe we can see about shipping him a bottle if I can find some.
Look at that. I'll make sure we get that. I'll make sure we get that over to you.
But
Yeah, definitely.
If we don't have the muscadine grape juice, I can definitely get you some Cairo syrup.
Well, look, now that I know the man, now that I know the honorable mayor, I feel like I might need to get some Cairo syrup. Kelvin, Marcus, any questions you want to ask Mayor Gainor here before we end this segment?
Yeah, I got one. Mayor, I know you Cairo through and through. And high school football is pretty big in the South, and Cairo is no different. And I know you got a big game coming up to start kick off because in Georgia their season started this Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So who you got and how the team looking?
I'm rolling with my syrup makers, a diehard syrup maker. We face one of our biggest rivals, Thomas County Central, located in Thomasville, Georgia. And we are ready to make it happen. So, there's been a lot of talk, a lot of chatter. A lot of I may, jam your airways if I go to saying everything, but just know we ready this year. It's time to really turn the page in our program. The things that our head coach, Coach Coleman, has instilled in our players, solidifying our quarterback position. And I mean, our guys are really put in the work this season for the off season. And we're looking forward to a very intense game. I even told Coach Simmons he may want to make a trip to see this South Georgia rivalry right
here. Hey, where is that game? Cairo or Thomasville?
Cairo, home field. And I definitely would be there. I will be easy to find because I'll be wherever it's swole at in my red and black.
I'm gonna have to look for that game online. I'm down here in Orlando, so it's a bit of a journey for me. I'm gonna have to look for it online. Let me make sure to get the plugs out here one more time for our people in the chat room again. Uncorked, which is the opening event. You can purchase tickets, which actually your admission to, if you purchase tickets, it also includes tickets to the Great Harvest Festival. For $35 general admission, $60 for VIP. And then for the Great Harvest Festival, general admission is $10 per person with free entry for children ages 12 or free entry for children under 12 and FAMU students with valid IDs. Non-FAMU students receive a 50% discount. Seniors 65 and over receive a 20% discount. So festival parking is available at the Antique Car Museum, 6800 Mahan Drive in Tallahassee, and there is a shuttle bus that carries people. So we thinking of everything for everybody to find a way to get you there. So there's no excuse this weekend, the last big weekend before football in Tallahassee. So this is great timing, right? Next weekend, great timing to get out this weekend. Any final plugs or anything you want to make mention, Mayor Gainor, before we conclude? Anything we left out? I want to give you the last word.
Oh no, man! I just want to say it's my first time on the show. I just thank you all for this platform to continue to, just amplify the voice of our university and just the many great things we're doing to provide the students with an excellent experience and ensuring their success. So just job well done to you guys for putting this platform together. And is there anything I can ever do in my capacity here at the university or in Cairo, the blue lights get behind you, just keep going. Take care. But
we have to get some ONG stickers. We have to get some ONG stickers to put on our card just in case.
Yeah. Again, is there anything I can do in my capacity? Feel free to reach out. And again, I just thank you all for allowing me to join you this evening.
Well, thank you to the folks there, FAMU, who reached out to us. We appreciate. Great opportunity to, again, that's what we want to do. We talk about athletics, but we also are all about the FAMU culture, and this is one of the big events that, as you can see right there, with some great items on the table that help. You can get some FAMU athletics. Who are some of those signatures, real quick? I know you got, obviously you had the Simmons autograph, but any signatures?
This is a Yeti from VP80 Sites, Tiffany Dunn Sites.
Okay.
We also have our son, head baseball coach hats. Again, we have this is all that could fit on the table. Dr. Shipman is also providing us with drum major jackets, the hats with the plumes, just a lot of vintage band memorabilia. So all of my band, former band members, you know how sacred these uniforms are, and nobody walks away with them. So your chance to purchase these will be at Uncourt. We will be forthcoming with a virtual option, just in case you would like to attend the Uncourt silent option virtual. And I will provide an app for you, and you can pass it along. But I will have those details forthcoming on how you can purchase your virtual ticket, and from the comfort of your home. It's better than Amazon, baby. You can't find it in the club or anywhere else but here on campus.
Well said. Well said. Well, coming up in our next segment, we've got a Marching 100 alum, former drum major. So he definitely knows the value of those items. So we'll be looking out for that. So you guys get out there this next weekend. That's the 25th and the 26th. Next weekend for the Uncorked event and the Great Harvest Festival.
Even have a mini helmet signed by Zaylan right here.
Oh man, see, that's there's value. Look, the unspeakable value right there. I don't even know what to put that at. Man, I'm find my way to Tallahassee next weekend. All right, let me Mayor Gainor, thank you for your time tonight. Thank you for coming on. And we look forward to talking to you again, and you guys have a great event. Successful event.
Thank you all.
All right. Hey, family, let's go ahead and take a short break. We're going to come back in 2 minutes and talk to Don Roberts, Marching 100 alum, co-founder of DRUMLine Live, right on the other side. You're watching the ONG Strike Zone right here on the Black College Sports Network.
I have in me the ability to make you a better you. So if you work hard, focus, stay on point, you can do anything. Trust me.
We made this track to tell everybody they can follow their dreams.
The human voice has always connected audiences with experiences. Major brands all across America have trusted Kever's voice time and time again. Conversational, powerhouse, intelligent, and sincere. That's the voice you need for your creative marketing process. KEAVERSVOICE.com. Kever's Voice, Kever's Voice, KeversVoice.com. Always on, all the time.
When we invest in ourselves, our glow, our vision, our vibe, we all shine. Together, we are black beyond measure.
Remember the revival? Relive the remix. Reunite for the Orange Blossom Classic. HBCU Reunion Experience. It's year 3, baby, and we back with that fire. Calling all HBCU fans. Labor Day weekend. The I Love Jackson State University takes on the Venomous Florida A&M University. Tickets are on sale now. Watch the game in premium style seating or watch it from a luxury suite. And of course, you know the halftime show is going to be epic right here in the 305. The sonic boom of the South and the illustrious Marching 100. Who you rocking with? The 2023 Orange Blossom Classic. Don't miss the HBCU Reunion Experience. Labor Day weekend, Miami Gardens, Florida, Hard Rock Stadium. Trust me, we'll see you there. Oh. Check out OrangeBlossomClassic.com for tickets and info.
All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Bryan Fulford, Marcus Green, Kelvin Rozier, and it's a pleasure to be joined by Mr. Don Roberts, former drum major of the Marching 100, longtime band director at Southwest DeKalb High School in Metro Atlanta, also a band consultant for the hit movie DRUMLine and the sequel DRUMLine: A New Beat. Served as a consultant for Beyonce's HBCU-themed Coachella performance, and of course the co-creator of DRUMLine Live. Anything I missed there, Don? Anything that I missed there?
No, the sole creator for DRUMLine Live.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, sir. Okay. How you doing this evening?
I'm great, man. I'm honored to be here on your show. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Well, hey, it's a pleasure to have you on. And first off, I know our late friend and our good friend Kofi would be tickled pink if he were here. I know he's here with us, but I know he would eat this up. I know he had tried to have you on. He talked to me and talked to us about having you on previously. So it's good to have you on.
Yeah, absolutely. May God rest his soul. Kofi Hemingway is a visionary. When I was at Southwest DeKalb, he found me, and he was impressed with the program because we were at FAMU 2 different times. And from that time moving forward, we were in constant contact. And I just appreciate his willingness to push the button. He's one of those guys that didn't mind telling you how to run your program and telling you what to do, and how to innovate. So, and we all need that push sometimes. So I miss Kofi.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, look, hey, I know there's a lot of different things that we can talk on. Right. So let's kind of, before we talk about the HBCU Band of the Year contest, because I know that's what people are itching for. That's what the hot topic. And I'll tell you, Don, after we talked at the press conference, I got a chance to meet you and everything, and we had Executive Director Grant on one of our shows. That conversation went on for about a good week and a half. I mean, the buzz about that event is it's deserved. Yeah. It's real. Yeah. Did you get the sense that this when Mr. Grant came to you, did you get a sense that this kind of attention would draw this kind of focus from folks?
Yeah, well, I did, and believe it or not, Mr. Grant and I have been working on this since 2017.
Okay.
So we put a lot of thought into the process, and one thing that John and I have in common is that we both don't mind being innovators. And I'll throw a plug to Dr. William P. Foster. Again, rest his soul as well, former director of bands at Florida A&M University. Julian White, guys that didn't mind pushing the button. Dr. Foster had 32 innovations, and I tell people that as much as you hear about marching bands, there's never been a real, true competition in the history of HBCU marching bands. You see the movie DRUMLine, where you see, Atlanta A&T won the event. That was fictional. But I challenge anybody to think about an HBCU band competition on an annual basis. That's a full real and it doesn't exist. And that's why it's so hot, because it's new, it's innovative, never been done before. And I think people are intrigued by the idea of, having an HBCU Band of the Year.
I mean, great timing for, and I'll get out of the way and let Kelvin and Marcus jump in here. Great timing for you guys. Why do you think it took so long for it to finally happen?
Well, the HBCU band culture is sacred. It is. I mean that in a very, very respective way. And I'll just give you a quick little segue into that. When we did Coachella with Beyonce, and they were trying to decide who they wanted for the thing, and I said, if you guys want me, I'm going to be very straightforward with HBCU culture. But if you get the wrong person and you think the Beehive is tough, if you mess this up, Beyonce is going to have a problem on her hands. And so when we did it, I think that was one of the things that stuck in their head. We wanted to be true to the culture, and so what took us so long, we wanted to make sure we were true to the culture. As far as just doing it the right way, we wanted to include the HBCU band directors. We wanted to make sure we had a system that was impeccable in terms of adjudication, so that it would be fair and something that would keep the fans motivated.
Kelvin, you want to add any? Go ahead, jump in there, add to this on the band of the year thing while we're talking on it.
Man, I think it's a great idea, and people are going to be very tuned in and interested in it, no doubt about it. Yeah. So the two big questions I know that I've heard that people have, one is who's going to be the committee, or how do you judge? And is that on a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly basis? Who the judges? How they gonna judge? And then I think the other question is when the four finalists are selected and chosen, what kind of packages it is for those bands to come and participate during that time of the year?
I mean, great questions. And man, you guys sound like band directors, because that's the first thing they want to know. Who's gonna be the judges? And again, just in terms of the delicacy again of the culture again, when I see FAMU and or anybody sees FAMU, they want to see those drum majors walk out with the walk. They want to see them flip those batons, and they want to hear 20th century fanfare. They want to hear the concert selection. But when I go to Southern University, I want to hear that sound they have. I want that drum major to do that back bend before it goes out and kick. And I want to see the dancing girls, the dancing dolls. How do you judge that fairly, as a director? So you have to understand both cultures, or all the different cultures that go along with it. So one thing we wanted to do was get a really good committee first. And shout out to Dr. Julian White, because he was our committee chair in 2017 when we were just doing the rankings. He served as the chair along with Dr. Harold Halton from Virginia State for Division II. So we have that concept. We will have two main chairs that will guide us to make sure they have impeccable reputations. And what we got back from the directors, well, what if somebody went to Southern and they're judged? What if they went to Jackson State and they're judged? We're going to make sure it's balanced in terms of schools, in terms of pedigree, in terms of background. But at one point, integrity and character have to take place. Meaning that we have to have judges that have high character, integrity, and that's what the resumes will be impeccable once we announce them. And we're going to be announcing the chair soon. We've narrowed it down. It's been a national search for the chairman. After the chairman, we're going to have Division I, SWAC, MEAC, Division I schools, even North Carolina A&T, that are no longer in the MEAC. Mistake. Sorry about that. that are no longer, but they're banned. We're going to bring them back in. We're going to bring Hampton back in. Tennessee State, they're not in a true division, but we're going to bring them in. All the Division I schools, directors, they will judge Division II schools. So you won't be allowed to judge within your division. The Division II schools, the Virginia States, the Fayetteville States, newly in Florida Memorial Band, they'll judge Division I. So you have band directors judging band directors. So you got degree people, music educators with the knowledge of music education more so than anybody that will be adjudicators. Now we will also have a fan vote as well, but of course that won't weigh as much as the from the colleagues. And then we'll have a small percentage of celebrity vote, and between the celebrity vote and the fan vote, it will be a very small percentage, but over 90% of the adjudication scores will come from band directors. So if that's not fair, I don't know what it is.
Love it, man. I think that's a very good idea.
That's good. And so those are going to be active band directors, or maybe just recently retired or former, or
all of the above.
Okay.
Our chairs won't be associated with any present bands.
Gotcha.
That's one of the criteria, that if you are a chair, you have to be retired or you have to be in a prestigious type of position, you know, with an impeccable resume on a national level. You know, so when we announce the chairs, all I can say is, you know, it's going to probably be a wow factor once you see the chairs. Like, for example, when we had Dr. White as a chair, you know, his resume was impeccable. You know, whether you're SWAC, whether you're MEAC, whether you're Division 1, 2, you know, it's nothing you can say like, okay, he's the chair. You know, same thing with Harold Halton, you know, who actually started the Sonic Boom of the South with Jackson State. Then he went to Division 2. It's going to be that caliber person for chairs. But to answer your question, we'll have retired and we'll also have present band directors. So, you know, the present band directors, you know, they'll get, and this is the beauty of the adjudication, is that like Battle of the Bands, you got to pack up, you got to travel, you got to go to a stadium. This is done in the beauty of your own stadium on your own time. We will look at video tape shows. Okay, so we'll get one show from September, one show from October, one show from December. And people say, why so few? Because we don't want to interrupt homecoming. We don't want to interrupt, you know, special shows that go to with your school. So we want one show from September. Send us your best show. October, send us your best show. You know, so on. Send us your best show. We'll have the guys, they'll look at it. You'll be judged on musicality, how well you sound. You'll be judged on pictures, drill, and design, how well you look. Your percussion section will have a category. Your drum majors will have a category. Everything auxiliary related will have a category and a score. So it's very detailed.
Like that.
Yeah, well, and you know, to answer your next question about what would they get when they get to Atlanta? You know, again, man, this is ESPN events, man. You know, so you know, all you got to do after you've made it at that point is get ready, because you know we're going to pay for you guys to get there. You know, we're going to house the band, and we're going to put more money in your budget than you probably will make the entire year from any of the events that you will all go to. We haven't announced, you know, Ms. Grant will kill me if I announce the award, the cash prize right now. But right. I would go to say that, you know, bands that may get $20,000 from Honda, you may get $10,000 from another event, you will get more money coming to Atlanta than you will for the entire year if you make it to our Final Four.
I'm glad you said that, because I know that was one of the things. That last part was something that a lot of people were asking. So I know that's going to be a soundbite that people, hey, look, and I try to tell people, yes, they're going to take care of you, because again, it's ESPN events, and you know they're not going to be cheap on it. They're going to make sure they take care, because they know, one, that it's outside of the normal school season. So you got to be able to take care of these students coming in. Marcus,
Absolutely.
Go ahead, get a question in there, Marcus.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts, for coming on this evening. I guess you answered some of the questions I was going to ask in terms of how do schools participate. And you mentioned that each school will submit a video from each month. When I first saw the concept, it almost looks like, I guess from the college football standpoint, the current one where they do the playoff rankings like mid-season, if you will. And are you following that same track where you want really
stealing or something, man? What's going on here? Honestly, that's exactly it. You know, when we call it, you know, when first we started off in 2017, we call it the Undefeated. It was Undefeated is a subsidiary, a portion of ESPN, and now it changed to Anscape. So we had rankings, the rankings where we would do the top 10 rankings, and then you know we go to the final rankings, but we never gave a final total or cumulative total, which is going to be different this year. And you know, we didn't want to do that until we had something to really give back to the schools. You know, so that is we kind of followed that football model, and that you know everything matters and it counts now for the entire year. And people say, well, why are you doing that? You know, it's fine like it is. If I were to ask somebody to name your top 10 band programs, you're probably going to say the same schools, you know, but nobody really talks about the smaller programs. Nobody talks about great programs, like the new program that just came out, Florida Memorial, you know, which is a FAMU grad, Richard Beckford. That staff was a FAMU staff. They came out of nowhere in Division II last year when we did the rankings. And everybody like, who the crap is this? You know, this school we never heard of. And they only had a band program about 3 years. And I think they got number 2 in one of our polls. And the university went nuts. This is the value of what we do is that those programs that don't get a lot of highlight, now we can bring light to those programs and people are talking about them. And it's not all about being number one. You know, we had one program that cracked the top 10, I think Savannah State band program. They made like number 5, number 8 one year, and the university went nuts. Hey, look at they see us on a national level. So if you're caught up in being number one, there are no losers in this. This is ESPN.com that we're going to post the scores on. We used to post them on the undefeated. You know, Anscape still going to be very active with what we do. Now every month we'll have HBCU bands that we posted next to the football, the national football contenders on ESPN.com. You'll see HBCU bands in the rankings as well. And I think that's pretty powerful, man. That's huge.
Yes.
A quick question to follow up.
Sure.
Now, I know years past for the football games, there's always been some complaints about not being able to see the band because, of course, they have to pay the bills, for the commercials and everything. Do you think the advent of this competition and its expected popularity will change some of that for the halftime shows when they show our HBCU games on the broadcast networks, that we'll get a little bit more of the bands versus, or they'll find creative ways to make up the ad revenue?
Oh man, that's a double-edged sword, but it's a great question. The answer is yes. It's already had an immediate effect. We're presently surveying the band directors right now. We're asking them to highlight their top 3 shows that they give us. Look at the schedule, your football schedule. Let us know which games you want us to highlight, and ESPN is going to provide a link in terms of, because most of the MEAC SWAC games are already televised, and then there'll be a way, and I probably need Mr. Grant to talk about this, that you'll be able to go to the other network and watch the full halftime show, this year. So we're trying to televise as many of the halftime shows this year. When you get to ABC, and WA Sword is the other part. When you go to ABC television, that's a whole different animal when you're going on that one. Or you get to the main network, because you're talking about, I don't want to get technical about it, but you're talking about royalties, you're talking about, clearances, etc. For the artist, and depending on who the artist is, playing a Beyonce song is a whole lot different than playing, a hip hop artist. And then so you have to have different ways to be able to make the payments to be able to clear those halftime shows. However, to answer your question, the good part about it is, yes, we're trying to televise as many of those halftime shows this year through different methods this year with ESPN. Whether it's going to ESPN 1, 2 while 1 is on, whether going to 3, whether going to ESPNU or at halftime. But yeah, we're trying to do it.
All right. Well, thank you.
Don, tell if you can quickly let people know how, because one of the big things is obviously everybody has a percussion, everybody has their routines and things, but I think the auxiliary thing really is driving. I know a lot of people in the chats are talking about it, but it really drives people nuts trying to figure out. Well, Southern has the dancing dolls. FAMU doesn't have dancers. They have a flag corps, but that other school doesn't have flag corps. How does that get adjudicated?
Man, y'all asking the toughest questions, but good questions.
I'm
telling y'all, I promise you, these are band director questions.
Yes, yes.
And I promise you, because I have a summer band camp, and the band director from Southern University was my guest. I've had Dr. Chipman, who's been my guest, about 3 or 4 times for my Atlanta summer band camp. And this year, the last 2 years, I had the band director from Southern, and he asked me that question at dinner. That he said, "How do my dancing dolls get ranked? If in what they do?" And the thing, that's why we call it auxiliary. Okay, meaning we don't call it adjudicate the dance girls or adjudicate the Dirty Dozen. So your auxiliary core is anything that is additional outside of band, outside of the music, etc. So if you have a flat core, that's your auxiliary. We're going to have eyes on that auxiliary from the time they start with a whistle. One judge, he watches each category. So we'll have one judge on musicality, one judge for pictures, drill, and design, one judge for percussion, one judge for auxiliaries, one for drummer, and they watch from the time the drum major step out to auxiliary. That one judge watches them, and that is one score. Then it goes into a cumulative pool, and it is electronically calculated. So if you're dancing dolls, from the time you step out, eyes are on you. If you are the flat core, from the time you step out, eyes on you. And it's possible Like we've done the rankings where we had, scores that were really close. Music, everything is tight, and you get to the last score for auxiliaries, and that's the score that could actually push you over the top. So it's motivated band directors to really just keen in on the small aspects of their program.
Nice. Kelvin, we're pushing up against our time, so I want you to get in there with a last question or two. I know how you like to double up there for Don.
All right, man. Again, I just want to say, first of all, I really love this idea, man. I think it's going to be big, and I think it's going to grow. But I'm interested in you've left. You say you have a band camp, so you're still doing some teaching.
Right.
But you do so many things now, and you got into the production side. Do you have a preference? Do you love doing both? And then is DRUMLine 3, 4? Is there anything in the works?
Well, I mean, first of all, I do a summer band camp, but I do DRUMLine Live is a traveling theatrical production. So I encourage the listeners, our viewers to go to drumlinelive.com. But we have a traveling production that has been touring since like 2008. We've done more than 300 cities. 300 shows all across the United States. We traveled. We've done Japan, Korea, Japan 3 times. We just finished a tour on last year. We have another tour that starts again in December. We're always looking for talent. So my best talent comes out of Tallahassee, Florida. So we're the only professional HBCU band, so to speak, in the world. So I definitely still direct. All year. I just recently retired from the DeKalb County as music supervisor for the school district out of the high school band. So I'm really all me. So I do my show, which is DRUMLine Live, but I also get a chance to work on television, movies. Just worked on Eddie Murphy movies that's coming out next year. We did Captain America, Winter Soldier about a year ago. Did Shacktacular Spectacular with Shaquille O'Neal this past New Year's Eve. So I do a little television, movies, but I actually have my own show. So check us out. We travel around. I got a show in Miami, and I think in February, coming up in 2024. So yeah, I'm definitely involved in that, and I enjoy everything that I'm doing. And I got to shout my kid out before I go. My son Jaden Roberts was drum major. Also, he graduated a year ago from FAMU. He's now in medical school at Howard University. So thank you, FAMU, for that great education.
Congratulations, and keeping the drum major line going. So that's 2 generations of drum majors there.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. All right, there it is, folks. DRUMLineLive.com. Make sure to check out the website. And then, of course, all of the information. I mean, you guys are going to go back and play this clip for all the questions that y'all have been asking on social media. Anything that John Grant didn't ask or answer, here you got it right from Don Roberts, who so this is awesome, Don. And hey, when you get ready to announce that executive committee, you make sure to let us know now. Come back on and be prepared to talk about that.
Absolutely. It's coming. It's going to be all year round. It's going to be exciting. It's going to really showcase bands that you probably never heard about. Because when we post the rankings, we're going to post a link to the show that was adjudicated, so you can see that this was no bias. And you're going to say, wow, I never saw that band before. And, you're going to start following that program.
That right there is going to be awesome. Well, I tell you what, it's going to be hard to stay focused on the job when I got to deal with football and then the band. I don't know. I might need to go into an easier, don't let me say easier, but a different kind of job. So that way I can keep track of this kind of stuff. But it's going to be fun to watch the discussions. Don, any other plugs? You mentioned your son there, DRUMLineLive.com. Anything else you want to plug?
No, man, I just want to plug my university. Dr. Shelby Chipman, my former classmate, Lindsey Sargent, one of the best arrangers in America. Dr. White, my former band director. FAMU Rattler Nation, man, love you. Thank you, guys. Let's knock Jackson State out the park in September.
There you go. Hey, well said, Don. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. All right.
Thank you.
Again, Don Roberts, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, real quick, we're gonna take a quick wrong thing there. There we go. I'm gonna take a quick little break, minute and a half. Come back. We're gonna talk to Ken Riley in just a second, and we'll get a chance to talk to him as we continue to celebrate Hall of Fame inductee number 368. That's Ken Riley Sr. So hang tight, go run, get a quick drink. Be right back here. You're watching the ONG Strike Zone on the Black College Sports Network.
All right, team, let's do it.
Precision, rankings, design, excitement. All part of the winning formula in the fight to become Fan of the Year.
We're coming to win, cause runner-up is not an option. We keep it moving cause it ain't no stopping. Let the games begin.
Championship should be decided on the field.
Make some noise.
There'll be some high stepping here.
If you haven't seen him before, you're in for a treat.
Ladies and gentlemen, behold.
This fall, halftime shows take on a whole new meaning as HBCU bands throughout the country battle for an opportunity to showcase their excellence at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta.
Coming to win, cause runner-up is not an option. We keep it moving cause it ain't no stop.
Each week, fans will be ranked based on top performances, accuracy, and swagger. Fans will be judged on showmanship, musicianship, and technique by the toughest judges in the world of college bands. 4 bands, top 2 from the divisions 1 and 2, will earn the right to face off in Atlanta, where a national championship will be crowned. The Band of the Year, presented by ESPN Events.
All right, welcome back to the ONG Strike Zone. Bryan, Marcus, Kelvin, and it's good to have Ken Riley II joining us. Ken, how you doing, man? Good to have you on. Welcome back to the ONG.
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, hey, again, we continue to celebrate Hall of Fame inductee number 368. Your dad, man, what an awesome! So many different talking points that I got in my head that I wanted to ask you. So let's just kind of start from just the journey to Canton. You know, you famously had said you wouldn't go back to Canton until Dad was enshrined, and so you're on your way to Canton. Talk about those initial emotions on that Wednesday or Thursday as you're going up there with your mom and your family.
Yeah, it was a busy week. I started on Tuesday. I arrived on Tuesday, and it was something every day. But it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, you know, just to be around so many greats and to know that, you know, he would be going in that week was just a unbelievable feeling, you know, just like very humbling.
What about the early? So if you can kind of share with us a little of maybe some of the activities and things that you were a part of or that you were asked to be a part of prior to, I know the jacket presentation was on Friday, was it not? I think. So maybe in the days leading up to Friday and Saturday, maybe some things that you kind of recall that kind of maybe left you shaking your head or maybe just kind of brought a big smile to your face or whatever emotion you had at the time.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm a fan of football. I love football. So, you know, the hotel where we're staying at, it was at the downtown DoubleTree, and it's all Hall of Famers. So, you know, getting on the elevator, just in the lobby, you know, there are gold jackets left and right. So for me, that's always, you know, great to see those guys. And it's just, you know, like a kid in the candy store. But that Tuesday I arrived, and then that Wednesday, a lot of guys during the week were playing golf. But that Wednesday, there was a kickoff luncheon where the Hall of Fame staff president, Jim Porter, hosted, you know, all the Hall of Famers that were in town, like a meet and greet. So that was that Wednesday. And then Thursday was the actual Hall of Fame game, football game. So we attended that, and they made an announcement for the game of the class of 2023, where DeMarcus Ware he did the he sang the national anthem.
Saw that.
Yeah. So, and then Friday was the gold jacket ceremony, which was great because this was actually the first time that families would receive the gold jacket. Before, they weren't receiving the gold jacket. So every year it's getting better and better for guys that have gone on, going in because the year before that, Mrs. Elaine Anderson was Cliff Branch's sister. She was able to suggest that they get the rings. So that class before that, they started getting rings, and it's funny because she actually, Cliff Branch, he went in the year before my father last year, and he passed away unexpectedly. Should have been in the Hall of Fame, but we attend the same church that he did, and his sister goes there. So it's just like a small world that she kind of helped us through the process. But so then this class here, we were able to get the gold jacket, so the framed gold jacket, because before that, they weren't getting jackets, they weren't getting rings. It was basically the bust, and the family was, never received any of it. So hats off to Jim Porter and his staff for being open-minded and, making these changes.
Yeah, I was going to mention, I think in years past, they weren't even doing the speeches. I mean, you gave that speech, that great speech, but I even that is something new. Because I was kind of seeing that you were on the list to speak, and I was like, they're letting him speak. I mean, that's great. I mean, because I thought in years past they weren't, anybody who wasn't necessarily there, they weren't doing the speeches. So I mean, I don't know. I don't recall if that happened last year or this was the first year for that.
No, it happened last year. Like I said, I can't say enough about Jim Porter and his willingness and openness to embrace, the families that are representing the guys that are going into Canton. So that was they just started that as well, letting family members represent and speak on behalf of the person going in. So a lot of great changes. It's like a big family, and we're just thrilled that he's finally in.
That's awesome. Go ahead, Kelvin.
So Ken, now, there was such a big buildup and anticipation of this event finally happening, and you got in, and you came on a couple of times and talked about the process where he might be getting in. Then he was announced, and now the event has happened. Just tell me, now that you're on the other side of that journey, what's your emotion? You was real busy and so forth the past week or so. Now you had a little time, I guess, to kind of get back into a routine, reflect a little bit. Just talk about the emotions, man. And I have to say, man, your speech was awesome, and I like how you wove in your mother and her role and her importance in your father's success. And then also, when you all were taking the picture and she kissed the bus and that just genuine moment, because I know it meant a lot to her, and I frankly love seeing her out there. I mean, of course she was teacher, so I know she's a great speaker and so forth. But she choose, just like your dad, she don't necessarily, she's not the person that tried to be out in front a lot. So just kind of talk about, man. Hey, you went through the process. It's happened. How you feeling? How the family feeling, man? What are some of your thoughts?
I can definitely exhale now. But said a lot of times that it's still bittersweet. Because he passed away just 3 years ago, and it was so unexpected. So when I imagine this moment, I always imagine me being in the audience. Him accepting that. And so that's the biggest piece that, is still a hole there, even though that he's in, we're just elated, and, it's definitely a blessing, and he's in there, but it will never be complete because he wasn't able to see it. And for me, it was really hard for me because my mom, she was there from the beginning. They were high school sweethearts. So they've been together since she was 16. And, so that's 51 plus years. And So for me, it's harder on me because now she's there by herself, and she was there from the beginning when they're in high school and pro football and the Hall of Fame was never a thought. So she's seen that transition. She's seen the work. She's seen from high school to college to the professionals, the bumps and the bruises, and she's been all the way through that process. And she knew, she saw it from the beginning. I came in the end, of course, as I got older. So she knows very well the story. So it definitely was hard for her, but she was extremely happy. And just like a good wife and a mother, like I said, she was the rock. She was everything. She was that foundation, and it was just a blessing to have her. And that's just genuine emotion, like kissing the bus. Like I said, it's high school sweetheart. That's first love. Yeah, that's love that will always be there, which I really respect and admire about both of them.
Absolutely.
Marcus, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Riley, for accepting our invitation. With all of the pageantry, with your father getting into the Professional Football Hall of Fame, are you aware of any other celebratory events that are going to happen either in Cincinnati or any other locations where your father had a great impact that we could rally around and support?
Well, I know Cincinnati. I still have to get the ring, so that's going to be at a game, at a certain point, one home game in Cincinnati this year for the ring ceremony. So not quite sure what game that is, and then we'll actually be there, September 16th for the first home game against West Florida for the naming of the field there. So I know those two events, and so it's still, like I said, he's in now, and it's just an amazing feeling, and it's incredible. Like I said, that's an everlasting legacy and something that he's earned. So just happy that he's finally in.
Well, thank you.
One of the things that we talked about last week with Vaughn, and I'm curious now that we have you here, Vaughn talked about that period in time. Obviously, your father comes out of FAMU as a quarterback. I think Paul Brown asked him that, no, he's going to be a defensive back, and here's what I need you to do. And he talked about how he was in that little short time window of what would you say, a couple of months, Kelvin? What we talking about, a few months last week, that he goes from being a quarterback to a defensive back. And so successful that, he obviously ended up earning a start, 5 games into his career. Did your father share any notes or talk about how he did that? What was the process of being able to turn from being on one side of the ball to the other? Did that? We were talking about how that football IQ, what a football IQ your father had. But did he ever talk about the process or write it anywhere or mention it to you, or did you ever ask? We're just kind of curious. I am, at least.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of it. Like I said, that was my father. We were like, that was my best friend. So once I started playing and went through my process, I gained that much more respect for him. So we definitely had conversations, and that's why I still marvel at what he was able to accomplish, because back then, okay, he got drafted, and the first thing they say, yeah, you're gonna move to defensive back. So the story is 69. He finished school. He just got married, and to my mom. And at the time, I think like a couple of months later, he found out. I think he's pregnant. My mom got pregnant, so she was having a baby. So just newly married, just got married. Now you're going to the professional league. And at that time, the training camp was 8 weeks. Ooh. And it's like 45. He said it's about 45 guys in the secondary for like 11 jobs. So the pressure is on. And one thing that he was very competitive, and, he was quiet, but he had the hunger and drive and was competitive. And so, it's same thing from high school. From his high school team, 4 guys went to the NFL. You know, a lot of guys went up to Florida A&M. So, and it always was his thought was like, if they did it, I can do it. So when some of the guys from that, you know, team that played for Coach Gaither made it to the NFL, he was like, if they can do it, I can do it. So at that point, you know, he just wanted the opportunity. So if he had to be defensive back, then that's what it is. And that just goes to show his competitive, and also he was just a heck of an athlete, you know, to make that transition. But I think that, you know, everything happens for a reason. Like he always said, you know, that was his plan. That was God's will, because I think playing quarterback made it easier for him to make that transition, because as a, you know, secondary guy, as a quarterback, he knew what the weaknesses were on the defense and what quarterbacks were looking for, so he could think like a quarterback as a defensive back. And along with his athleticism, it just worked out. So again, you know, everything happens for a reason. There's some stories about how, you know, first preseason game, never played on the kickoff team, of course, because he's a quarterback. And he's like the gunner on the kickoff team. That's the guy that just goes down. And he was like the first kickoff. He's just running, head up in the air. Don't even, you know, never done it before. And he said the running back, like, just so happened to run towards him, and there was a big collision. He fumbled. His helmet came over his eye, and then he walked to the sideline, and Paul Brown was like, "You're a hitter." And I like that. But he was like, he didn't know what he did, didn't try to do it. But, you know, from that point, he was labeled a hitter and, you know, made a big play. So, you know, everything happened for a reason, and that was it. That was what he was born to do. And, you know, it's a lot of other stories like that where, you know, it was just meant to be. But he was definitely a student of the game, athlete, and, you know, competitive. So that's the ingredient for, you know, the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Go ahead, Kelvin. Any additional questions you want to get in there?
I was wondering how, you know, some of the background stuff, how involved did the NFL, you know, in terms of, did they ask your opinion on things? Did they take suggestions? Were you able to kind of contribute to what happened that we saw on the stage and some, you know, as far as the event itself? Or was it more scripted?
Well, what people don't realize, like the Pro Football Hall and NFL are separate. So NFL really doesn't get involved. They support it, but the Pro Football Hall of Fame has its own staff, has its own president, and they pretty much run the operation. They do a really great job. And this has been going on since February, like the planning of this process. So we've been planning all of this since July. Since February, you know, for the August event. So it's been a lot of behind the scenes work. My wife did a great job. That's right up her alley, and she was able to, you know, do a lot of the planning. But as far as anything else, like I said, Pro Football Hall of Fame, they've been doing it for years now, and they kind of walk us through the steps and what we need to do, you know, speech. And I knew that was going to be coming up. And like I said, it's just a once in a lifetime opportunity. And, you know, it's still just, you know, mind blowing. But the great thing is they get to go back next year, and, you know, I get to go back every year. And it'd be more relaxing next year for me, because, you know, now I can just go back and sit back and enjoy. But that's still just mind blowing. Like I said, you can go in there and that bus will always be there, you know, so. That's just crazy to me.
I know you are the family. Y'all had Vaughn around, and he documented some things. I was wondering, does the Pro Football Hall of Fame, do they give y'all like some kind of clip video, a package for y'all, for the family to, you know, be able to, you know, share with others and go back and review that special moment for you all? Or was that something you all just had to do on your own?
They don't really like do any videos, but a lot of that stuff now today, so, you know, everything's on YouTube now. Vaughn did a wonderful job. He's always been there supporting. So shout out to Vaughn, and always thanking him because he's always a big supporter. And then Cincinnati did a great job. We had a big party afterwards, and it was over the top, and they provided everything. So we had a photographer there. So we're in the process of like trying to get those pictures printed. But between Cincinnati and the Pro Football Hall of Fame, man, they're like a A1 organization, and like I said, just so thankful that they show the support for us because of my father. So it's just definitely a blessing.
Okay, Marcus, you got anything you want to add?
Yes, I wanted to ask real quickly, when you were, even though this weekend I know the ceremony, you're focused on ensuring that you had a good time and making sure that your father was well represented. But in your travels in and around the Pro Football Hall of Fame, did you happen to hear about any other potential candidates or other senior candidates who are either FAMU alums or other HBCU players in the past who may not have gotten it yet?
Well, there's a lot of deserving guys that, especially with that senior pool, because most people don't know, like for years now. So next week, they will make the finals for the senior committee. So right now, the finalists for the senior committee is like Ken Anderson, who should be in the Hall of Fame as well from the Cincinnati Bengals. But I can't remember all the finalists right now. So that decision will be made next week for the finalists. So that group's coming out of the senior committee will then wait all the way until, they get ready to do the modern day era, and they do that right before the Super Bowl. So this is really the most important time right now for the senior committee. They'll make that decision. Once you make that final, it's pretty much a 99% chance you're going to go ahead and move on. But to answer your question, I mean, it's so many deserving guys, and it's like they call it the black hole because you have 5 years from once you retire, you're eligible as a modern candidate. So you retire, then you have to wait 5 years. So from 5 into 25 years since you last played, that's considered modern era. And then once you go to year 26, you fall into that senior pool. So just imagine every year somebody's falling off into that senior pool. So you got guys that played in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s until now that are in that pool. And then they're only allowing one person, well, now they expanded to two, only 2 people out of that seniors class, gets in. So what are the odds? And it's a log jam for, guys. So it's kind of, I don't know the solution, but it's kind of frustrating because a lot of those guys won't be the same situation with my family where they won't be able to see it. So I don't know the solution for it, but it's tough. So it's just a tough process. A lot of guys are deserving. I'm not sure like HBCUs who are, we can't even get guys drafted right now, honestly. So who knows when we're going to have the next, person coming from HBCU, because it's just like time to change. But we starting back to pick up, having some success, and love to see like those Cowboys, those guys.
Yeah,
that was great to see those guys playing together with Landon and Bell, and then I know we got Xavier out in the Rams. So those guys are hopefully they can make it and have a long career, and they can be next in line. So I'll definitely be pulling for them and always keep an eye out for them.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, I want to give you a chance. What did you think of the, or maybe share some thoughts about the presence and all that FAMU put into it? I know AD Sykes really went above. I hate to say above and beyond, but she really went out and did a great job by what I've seen and what a lot of people said in terms of making sure that FAMU was there to honor your dad and partnered with the Bengals and so I mean, just kind of any thoughts that you want to share about just having that FAMU presence there? I know a lot of former players were there.
Yeah. You know, Tiffany Sykes did a great job. Dr. Roberts was there. I was disappointed the band wasn't there. I really wanted the band to be there. I thought that would have really just like
that'd have been crazy. That'd have been crazy.
I was disappointed they weren't able to come, but we had a great presence. You know, we had Venom there, and like I said, Dr. Robertson and Tiffany had a lot of former players. You know, Ezel, Arthur Hightower, Jim Thurman, Tracy Weldon, Doug Austin. So we had a lot of guys come and support, and then we had an actual local band who practiced, and they had on the FAMU t-shirt. So we definitely had a great presence. Florida A&M had a great presence, which was great. We also had a video board that Tiffany put together. So yeah, we definitely was known in Canton on Saturday at that parade and represented well, which always feels good to do.
Yeah. I had somebody ask in the chat room about any types of merchandise. Where can people, if people wanted to still buy, whether it be T-shirts or merchandise, is there anything that you're doing through the Ken Riley Foundation, or where would you recommend or tell people to go if they want to buy any memorabilia or things like that? Or maybe is there some memorabilia things that you're working on?
No, but I know there's some things out there. But if the Pro Football Hall of Fame, if you go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame store, they have all the merchandise that we were wearing, like T-shirts and hats. They have coins and they have a lot of memorabilia. If you just go to ProFootballHallOfFame.com store. I don't have anything per se. Don't know, what that's going to look like in the future. But yeah, that's where you can purchase that type of stuff.
All right. Anything you want to add, Ken? Anything, any other shout outs or anything you want to add, something maybe you forgot to ask or whatever? I want to give you the last word.
No, thanks for having me, man, and the support. I know y'all kind of saw the process and the journey. And like I said, Florida A&M will always be, home to me and my family because, that's where it all started there, from my father and even before him. So, just always appreciative to have that support and always look forward to coming back and always, say a room for the Rattlers. And Will Packer, too, he was there. Shout out to Will. He definitely came in with him and his wife supporting the parade and was very supportive, through that weekend. So it's a big shout out to him, too. So we were definitely well represented.
Yeah, I was fascinated that Will was there. I love the fact, like, I didn't know what, I was like, where did Will Packer come from? I love the fact that Will was there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Phil, I mean, that was crazy, but that was cool to see Will there. All right. What's next on the agenda for you, Ken? What do you got?
Well, I'll be there September 16th, like I said, against West Florida for the naming of the field. And I know that they're coming out here to play TSU. FAMU's coming out to play TSU here.
That's going to be huge. That's going to be huge.
That's going to be great. And then as far as Cincinnati, like I said, there will be a game where we're coming to get their ring. Those rings are nice. It's like a Super Bowl ring.
I've seen it, yes.
Yeah, they're huge. So looking forward to that. And it's just continuing on. Like I said, this is something that, it's just a legacy. So it'll never get old for me. So just enjoying it.
Well, I think I speak for my guys, for my partners there. We've enjoyed being a part of this journey and talking to you and watch this journey. And like I said, man, thank you for letting us, talk to you and be a part of it and share it with Rattler Nation. And congratulations to you and the family. And hopefully we'll be there for the home game. So hopefully we get a chance to catch up and talk with you in Tallahassee on September 16th. I think I got the date right. Yeah, September 16th against West Florida. First home game, the dedication of Ken Riley Field at Bragg Memorial Stadium. It's got a nice ring to it. I like that.
That does. Yeah. I need to shout out my baby Rattlers too. I had Chuck Hobbs and Dr. Fred Higgs and Lisa and Nikki and Jason Ward. So those guys showed up from my class too, my high school class. So
Yeah.
Appreciate that as well.
The high.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Hey, Ken, again, man, thank you for coming on. And we'll see you down the road in about a month now. In about a month in Tallahassee. So give out the website, the Ken Riley Foundation again, so that way people can check that and support whenever.
Yeah, I don't know the Twitter on there, but it's the Ken Riley Foundation on Twitter though, and then it's KenRiley13.org for the foundation.
Ken Riley for 13. And I saw somebody ask what was Ken's college number at FAMU? Was it 6 or 9? 3. That's right, 3. Okay. Yeah, 3. And then the college and then the pro was 13, 1-3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I got you. So there it is. Keith Berry, you asked what was Ken's college number? Number 3. That's very cool. All right, Ken. Have a good night. Appreciate you for coming on, man.
All right, thanks for having me. All right, y'all take care.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye. All right. That's Ken Riley, ladies and gentlemen. Can I take a break, or do you want to go right into Rattler? Do you want to stretch the arms, get a quick drink? What you want to do? Go quick break, or do you want to get into the rest of it?
We ready. Either way. I'm good either way.
Yeah, me too.
All right. You good? Okay. As long as y'all don't start throwing hats and be like, let's go. You know? Oh, man. What a great show. So, again, hopefully you guys got it. I mean, that's a loaded show, man. Mayor of Cairo in there talking about the Grape Harvest Festival. Then we get Don Roberts dropping knowledge about the HBCU band comp. Plenty of clips there. I got to make sure to clip that because I know people are going to be buzzing about that information. And then talking to Ken. Loaded. Want to remind everybody again, if you haven't purchased your Orange Blossom Classic tickets, for some reason it can't get that out. You can purchase premium club level tickets right behind the Marching 100. Only $109. That's a good deal. Section 249. It's in the shade, and you can go inside and hang out in the club level should you choose to do that. Our good friend Mike Reed, his website, justlookinout.com. That's 2 O's. I think last week I made a mistake. I had one too many O's in the website. So that's JUSLookingout.com. Go purchase the club level seats. When you check out, use the code BCSN or StrikeZone, and a portion of the proceeds will go to support the show. So you are supporting the show by purchasing club levels and hanging out and chilling in the club level. You're going to the game, so go ahead, purchase those tickets. And the ONG Strike Zone will be in the house. 2/3 of us will be there. Not going to say who's not going to be there. For some reason, couldn't get away from the far cold Northeast to come hang out in Florida with us. But anyway, in spirit, we'll all be there in some form or fashion. And so we're looking at doing some live stuff down there as well. So, so hopefully you guys will come and join us. Okay. There's a Orange Blossom Classic. There it is right there. September 3rd. I don't know. Did you guys catch the show on Sunday? Sports Rats, where we did over-under win totals?
Yes, I did.
Marcus, you? I set the FAMU season over-under on the win total. I set the line at 8.5.
Yeah.
Over or under 8.5 wins. Also, I set Jackson State at 8.5 as well. The computer metrics seem to say that Jackson State will have a 10-1 season, and they say FAMU will have a 7-4 season. That's what the computers say. I don't agree with it, but whatever. But I set the line at 8.5. So, Marcus, I'll ask you and then come to you, Kelvin. Marcus, does FAMU win over 8.5 wins? They go over or under 8.5 this year?
Over.
I love the confidence. How about Jackson State? Just curious what you think. Over or under?
Over 8.5?
Yeah, 8.5. tough one, right?
It is, just because they have so many unknowns. I mean, I know TC Taylor's
Right.
been there on staff. First time head coach, and depending on what numbers you read from social media, Twitter, whatever, you can't 100% believe, but we know there was a talent loss. I mean, you lost a 4-star quarterback and a 5-star DB. I mean, that in and of itself, it's hard to compensate if you don't have equal talent coming back in. But with the number of players, and the SWAC's not getting any easier. Everybody's gearing up. And we learn, we know from experience, just from being FAMU. When you're the top dog, there's a lot of other underdogs trying to nip at your heels and gearing up to knock you off. And right now, Jackson State, in the offseason the last 2 years, has been a top dog. So everybody in the SWAC has got their bullseye trained right on Jackson State. So it's not going to be any easier for them. So, yeah, that's tough to 8.5. I'm going to say under.
Under. Okay. Kelvin, I know you're going over on the FAMU 8.5. What about the Jackson State 8.5?
That their first 4 games make me say under it very easily. Not because they're not going to be potentially talented, not because they aren't capable, but those first 4 games, Southern, South Carolina State, us, Southern, and then Texas State, man, they're good if they come out of that 2-2. So unless they beat those odds, they're under. They're under for me.
I'm going under as well. So is Mrs. Body, Mama Body, saying under. And then she asked a great question there. What are they saying about her beloved Texas Southern team where
dangerous.
Her son Andrew is the quarterback. So this was an interesting one, right? So obviously Texas Southern 5-6 last year. Probably should have been 6-5. Should have been in the SWAC. Unfortunate injury in the fourth quarter to Andrew. I mean, if that injury doesn't happen, Texas Southern wins that game and ends up in the SWAC championship game. Okay, but it happened. The computer rankings only say 4 wins for Texas Southern. But I'm a little more optimistic. I actually set the line at 5.5. So 5.5. Does Texas Southern go over or under 5.5? And it's an interesting team to try to figure out. I'll be honest. I went under 5.5, but I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of it is going to, and I think between the guys myself, Drew, and Jamie, we all said game 1's going to determine the game against Prairie View. So the 2 biggest games in the SWAC are taking place in Houston and Miami Gardens, because somehow somebody's dreams are going to get dashed on the curb if you end up losing that game. I actually think Texas Southern wins that game, but for some reason I don't know though. What are your thoughts, guys? Again, the line is 5.5. Does Texas Southern go over or under 5.5?
Go ahead, Marcus.
I'm gonna have to look at the schedule. I'll take a quick look. But if everybody stays healthy, I mean, they've been on the, predicted to be on the come up the last couple of years, especially with Andrew Body at quarterback, because he did such a bang up job as a freshman. So it's coming. It's just a matter of having good injury luck and having things fall their way.
They won't be favored. They're not favored against Prairie View. Then they have a couple of FBS games, Toledo and Rice. They won't be favored to win. They actually have a stretch where they are slightly favored against Grambling. They played Lincoln, and they're favored against Bethune. but then they fall into, and this is what everybody keeps talking about, that 4-game stretch of FAMU, Southern, Jackson State, and Alcorn. That 4-game stretch where Texas Southern won't be favored in any of those games.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do? I mean, do you I mean, heck, if they come out of that 3-1, hell, they're in the SWAC. In my opinion, they're in the SWAC championship game if they come out of that 3-1. But they could also easily go 0-4 and finish under 5.5 wins.
Mm-hmm.
So my thoughts, Bryan, is they added some nice pieces. Don't forget now that Texas Southern had some transfer ins, and so Andrew Body has more weapons on the offensive side. My question with their team is on the defensive side and how much improved they're going to be on that side. And that's an unknown for me. Also, the West, as I already predicted, the West winner is going to have 3 losses. Unfortunately for Texas Southern, they pick up us as one of the crossover games. So their schedule got much tougher. Not just the West opponents, but who they picking up and got to play in the East also.
Yes.
You know, they got us and Jackson State, right? So,
Yep.
So that's why that 5.5 is tough, because that means they got to beat one of us.
Yep.
And they do have us at home, and if they help, they I mean, they can score. Like I say, I just watched our season last year, especially our road games, and we struggled on the road. We barely beat Alabama State. We barely beat South Carolina State. We barely beat Grambling. Those were the one in the fourth quarter at the last minute. So they have a chance. But I got to see it. I'm going to give them 6 right now. I think 6-5 is probably where they are.
That's why I say that opening game matters, and I think it does. EA says the outer division games, it won't. They will hurt. They all, because it's part of the 8 games.
Correct.
That's the thing. It's part of the 8 games that count.
Yeah.
Everybody plays at least 3 crossover games, and who those 3 crossover games are makes all the difference in the world. All the difference in the world.
And by the way, I already got my plane ticket, Mom and Body. So yeah, I'll be in Houston, and I'm bringing a lot of family and friends with me.
Look, will there be more FAMU? Look, you know what?
Yes, I'm gonna predict that.
I am too. But look, do you know? We've said this before. With the help of Dr. Cavill, we figured out FAMU has not been to the state of Texas to play a football contest against another HBCU since the 40s. That's 1940s. It's been almost 80 years since FAMU has been in the state of Texas. And so these next 2 years are, historic. And there are Rattlers in Texas who are itching to see this game in Houston, and then the following year when it's in Prairie View. So I hope Texas Southern Nation shows up, because Rattler Nation is going to come swoop up a lot of tickets. And even if the 100 doesn't show up, yeah, it doesn't matter. I do expect the 100 to travel to Prairie View the following year, but I don't know if they're going to travel to Texas Southern though. But I'm just putting that out there. In terms of over and unders, just for anybody who was curious about the over unders that we set on Sunday's show, we set the highest over unders were 8.5, and we awarded that to 4 teams. We awarded to Jackson State, FAMU, Southern, and North Carolina Central, all at 8.5. Obviously, we just mentioned FAMU and Jackson State. So let me ask you two about Southern and North Carolina Central. Marcus, does Southern or North Carolina Central go over or under 8.5 wins?
I am going to say, well, let me start with NC Central. Now, we know that in a contracted MEAC, they only have, 5 conference games? So that means
Correct.
they need to have 6 out-of-conference games. And I'm not sure who they play, but they're coming back with arguably the HBCU Player of the Year at quarterback. And we all know that that's one of the critical, if not the most critical position in football.
Yeah.
I would give them the 8.5. If I'm looking at the schedule now, they're playing Winston-Salem State Labor Day weekend. They play A&T, which is going to be a toss-up. They go out to UCLA. Yeah, I know that's a loss. That's a loss. Yeah, and then they play Valley, they play Campbell, and then they play Elon. So they're playing a pretty wide gamut for their non-conference schedule. I mean, for the first 6 games, so they have 3 traditional HBCU opponents, and then 3. So 1, 2, 3. No, actually, 3. And then they have Elon, which is a FCS, 2 FCS, Elon and Campbell in state, and then they're playing UCLA.
Yeah, basically,
I can see him going 4-2. I can see him going 4-2 with that. So with the UCLA loss, and then
they got to go, and then at that point, if you're giving them 4-2, that means you're saying they got to go perfect 5-0 in the MEAC. I don't think that happens.
Me either. I think they're gonna lose at least one.
Yeah, they lost one last year,
like they did last year. You got to remember they lost to South Carolina State.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I went under. What? And what about who was the other one? Southern. What we got for Southern, Marcus? 8.5. Over under 8.5.
Schedule too hard.
I'm gonna go. Man, that's hard. I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna say they win 8.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good number.
They're gonna lose to us.
I'm right there with you.
Then they got 2 other losses, but they're gonna lose to us.
Yeah, actually, the only team that I have going over the 8.5 is FAMU. I've got Jackson State going under. Kelvin, what about you? I don't know if I asked you. I saw you shaking your head about Southern. What about North Carolina Central? Are you playing the under?
Under on both of those. And let me just say with the FAMU, I'm not picking FAMU over because I'm a Rattler. I mean, we got 2 Division II schools on our out-of-conference schedule. And we got our entire team almost coming back, plus what we added. I mean, we just got a D lineman from Jackson State, so we should be over. Now, it ain't no guarantee. I love it. Had the graphic ready for him.
I got the graphic ready for you. Big John Graves III.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A position of need. Very productive. He played against us when we played Southeast Louisiana a couple of years ago. He has a teammate at defensive end who on our team, and so look forward to him contributing to us going over.
I love it. Great tie-in there. Great tie-in. All right, let's get to a couple of these announcements and things like that. Fan Day's coming up August 20th. So that's this weekend. Usually, don't be surprised. There might be some nice, cool posters. If Joshua Padilla, he's on his game. So this will be a great opportunity to get some autographs, some posters. Can you imagine those folks who got a chance to get a poster autograph that had Marquise Bell, Isaiah Land, and Xavier Smith on it? Somebody out there has a schedule poster with those 3 guys' autographs on it. All 3 of them are in NFL now. So don't miss out. There's a lot of NFL professional football talent on this roster.
Yes.
So don't miss a chance to get an autograph from these guys. It might make for a nice little collector's item for your fan cave later. I need a proxy. Can I say anybody got any kids? Any extra kids? I need to send a proxy to Tallahassee to go down the line and get me some autographs on these posters. So if anybody's going and you got an extra kid that you can spare, I need a proxy. I'm willing to pay $10 to a kid to go down the line and get autographs. I'm just saying. That's going to be at the All Lawson Center, 2 to 4 p.m. Coming up. All right, let's keep it moving here. All right, so they announced the themes for this year. We only have 4 home games. So the themes this year, we've got the Ken Riley Youth Day to open up the season against West Florida. 6 p.m. kickoff. I guess that's going to be wear white, which is a good time of year. Then on September 23rd, our first home SWAC game against Alabama State is the Hall of Fame game. That's a 6 p.m. That's a green day. So everyone, wear green. Homecoming is October 20. Is that 28th? 28th against Prairie View. Now, you notice the time. It says 4 o'clock, not 3 o'clock. It says 4 o'clock. I wonder if that's due to TV. So it's a 4 o'clock game where now the weird thing is it's the breast cancer awareness and homecoming, but we're wearing orange. So I don't know. Maybe a combination.
I saw that too.
Maybe we're supposed to wear orange and pink. I don't know, but
homecoming you got to wear orange and green, man.
Yeah, homecoming you got to wear orange. And even though breast cancer, maybe they'll have a pink wristband or something that you can wear to accompany the orange. But I know, yes, we got PE for homecoming, so that's a loss for Prairie View. We add that up as a loss for Prairie View. Nobody comes in, nobody comes in brag. You got to deal with the distraction committee. It's not going to be a good day. It's not going to be a good day for Prairie View. Not going to be a good day. Just letting you know. And then Senior Day is the Military Appreciation and Senior Day. I guess that's where we're wearing black. So that's a blackout. November 11th, 11/11/23. I thought that might. Now that's against Lincoln, California. Lincoln, so that should be a win. Can I tell you guys? Massey does not look favorably upon FAMU in that West Florida game. I don't understand it.
Nobody care about Massey. I mean,
I'm just telling you, Massey.
I was watching y'all show, man, and I'm listening to y'all and seeing how stupid those lines were from the computers, and I'm laughing, man. I'm buck gussing, laughing. I mean, 7 wins with that schedule, and the team you have.
Again, that's why if there was sports books that put money, if they like for a normal for the I should say I don't want to say this, for the upper FBS conferences, you can get market value. You can see the market for conference win totals. Unfortunately, there's not that kind of market on the FCS level. But if there was, and you saw 8, 7.5, which a lot of times during the season, they look at these data analytic sites to get their numbers. This should be a run to the bank. Run to the bank. Run to the bank. Put your money down on the Rattlers going over 8.5. Okay. All right. Kenya says, Kelvin, are you breaking out the icy for Ken Riley Day?
It's gonna be too hot for the icy. I have on my white now. I got some other stuff, but no, I'm saving the icy. I think Mama Body might get to see me in the icy when I come to Houston.
You can come to Houston, iced out. All right, there we go. Love it. Okay, so we got to talk about the recognition for a few guys. Javen Morgan, Kendall Bowler were recognized on Bruce Feldman's Freak List. Now, Bruce Feldman writes for The Athletic. Marcus, you've seen this list before. We were talking about it offline before the show. What is the Freak List?
Well, Bruce Feldman's a longtime sports writer who's travels took him to Sports Illustrated, but now he's writing for The Athletic. For anyone who has a subscription to that. And apparently, I guess for the last 20 years or so, he's compiled a list of heralded players, some who may be unsung or at different levels, who are extremely physically talented, and he tends to rank them. And actually, Isaiah Land, he came in at number 64 in his top 100 last year. And so this year, he just put out the list earlier this week. And we have two players actually back to back. I think number 71 and 72 of the players that are on Bruce Feldman's list. So I guess he does a comprehensive look at people who are ballers, but also have high athletic talent and ability at the football level. So it's mainly looking at football play, also looking at football players exclusively and compiling his list. So this is the second year in a row FAMU's had a person to make the list for Bruce Feldman's freak list. I did check. I didn't see Marquise Bell on the 2021 list. I thought he was listed on there, but I was mistaken. But it's good to at least have 3 players in the last 2 years make the list. And there are other HBCU players who are on the list as well.
Kelvin, any comments? Because these same 2 guys ended up on another watch list. So I'm trying to pull that information up.
The only comment I make is that those guys are on the list because of their measurements, stats, and so forth. Right, both of them have been time under 4.4. Both of them have been very productive as DBs. Both of them are got good length and size, and they have pretty good strength measurements also. So. That's some of the things that Bruce Feldman was looking at, but to have a safety in the corner, both running a sub 4.4 at our level, man. I mean, just it's a testament. Both of those guys will have an opportunity, just like Xavier and Isaiah this year. They'll have a chance when they come out also, because they have those measurements that the NFL looks for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I could jump in really, really quick, I'm looking at the article released on the 15th earlier this week, actually yesterday. And this is the starting paragraph. I've been writing about the biggest freaks in college football for almost 20 years. I never imagined back then that this is what I'd be best known for in my career, but it's the thing I get asked about most. It's a pet project that has grown and grown and grown, starting when I was at ESPN and moving with me from CBS to Fox Sports to Sports Illustrated and here to The Athletic. The original idea was to spotlight the players whose athleticism blew the minds of folks inside their own college football programs. At first, there were only just 10 freaks. Now, this has turned into something so much bigger as I've expanded it to try to cover all of college football beyond FBS, with submissions from schools, coaches, teammates, parents, NFL scouts, and agents.
Nice.
So he's gone far and wide, and to see, I'm assuming if we extrapolate that to last year, that Isaiah Land was named number 64, and he had the same panel of submissions and from the different professionals and different aspects of football life, from scouts, NFL scouts, and players and other coaches. And now we have 2 players. So this speaks to, once again, the acumen of the recruiting staff that we have at FAMU as well. Mm-hmm. Now, Kendall Bowler, well, actually, all 3 of them were originally offered by FAMU. Kendall Bowler went to Mercer for 1 year, played with his brother, then they both transferred down, but we did originally offer him for class of 2019, I believe. Mm-hmm. And of course, Javen Morgan and Isaiah Land were offers that came straight to FAMU out of high school.
Okay. Javen and Kendall also were just recently recognized on the Aeneas Williams Award 2023 preseason watch list. So I'm reading here from Gerald Huggins of Draft HBCU, players. We had Gerald on the show before. And I'm going to read this press release. Today, the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame released the second annual Aeneas Williams Award preseason watch list. The list includes 19 of the nation's best defensive backs in historically black college, university, Division I college football. The preseason watch list is selected by a screening committee and in partnership with the organization Draft HBCU Players and the Paycom Jen Thorpe Award. The list is not final, and players with outstanding seasons may be added to the semifinalist and finalist list as the season progresses. So last year, the inaugural winner was Khalil Baker of North Carolina Central. Of course, he is on the list again. And then, of course, this year, you see Javen and Kendall be recognized. And so Aeneas Williams, of course, Pro Football Hall of Famer, Black College Football Hall of Famer, Southern grad, went undrafted into the NFL and became, who he became, a Hall of Famer. And so this award, which the Chickasaw Nation helps present this award in conjunction with the city of Oklahoma City. So pretty cool, pretty prestigious honor. Congratulations to those two guys. And just, obviously one of many awards, because what else is there? Oh, hold on. I don't want to get to that just yet. Where's my other award? Yeah. Okay. So before we'll come back to that other stuff in a second. Obviously, another award list which came out, I think it was either today or yesterday, was the 2023 Black College Football Player of the Year watch list. That is the Deacon Jones Trophy. Last year, Shedeur Sanders won that award. We had 3 Rattlers. We had, of course, Jeremy Musa, Jalen Goss, and Jamarie Shareed all make that watch list. And that watch list will also grow as people have seasons, and some guys will fall off, some guys will jump on. Any other individual type award or recognitions that you saw that I didn't mention? Nope. Okay. Let me move back here a second. Of course, we already talked about John Graves committing to FAMU. Let's talk about this for a second. I think this might be the last 2 preseason polls that we've seen out. Of course, Zach McKinnell, the Blue Bloods, put out his preseason FCS top 25. Zach does a great job of covering FCS football. Outstanding job. Actually doing such a great job. I think he was asked to be a voter for one of those national organizations, Athlon or Stat Analyst. Yeah. So as you can see, Central comes in at 13. I respect Zach for putting Central at 13 because no other poll has North Carolina Central in their top 15. And so I totally respect his poll. Jackson State, 21. Kind of curious. I'd love to ask Zach and say, Zach, what do you see from a team that lost 60 to 70 guys, has a new coach, versus a team that is returning what they're returning after 3 consecutive 9-win seasons? FAMU's 24. So, hey, it's good to see FAMU in the top 25. But I just love to hear the difference. And then, of course, the American Football Coaches Association, their preseason coaches poll brings FAMU at 25. I think North Carolina Central was 21. And if I'm not mistaken, did Jackson State not even receive votes? Is that Did you see that?
I don't remember if they received votes or not.
One of these polls, Jackson State didn't even receive votes, which that's interesting.
It's not. It's understandable if you're just looking at data. They got a new team. You don't know what you don't know. You got a new coach, new head coach, first time head coach. It makes sense to me.
You're talking about data though. I just showed you data. Data predicts them to go 10-1.
Yeah, but it's all about what data you use and how you frame it. You can't frame first time head coach. You can't frame lost 56 players, only one returning all SWAC player on the whole squad, and 56 new players. I mean, those numbers, that data is irrefutable.
Did they actually have a higher ranked recruiting class than us, the Jackson State?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
So, they had a higher number. They had a higher number too, but I mean, the recruiting rankings. You got transfers included in there, and a lot of the numbers not the same, but yeah, the last 2-3 years they've had the highest ranked HBCU class. But they lost most of the first two, so this is a separate class here.
Marcus, do you glean anything out of these preseason rankings, 24, 25? I mean, I think some of the other organizations had FAMU in the top 25 barely.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's about until we get over the hump.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. That's it. You're gonna say exactly what I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah. That's what we should be.
Yeah. I'm kind of like meh to all of it because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I feel like it doesn't matter this year because we're not playing for their recognition. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
It matters, man. We are an FCS program, and I like to see our perception with our peers, whether we, claim it or not. The bottom line is we're FCS just like those other programs, and that's why I would love to have us play. I like some of what the Texas schools do with and what Alcorn does with their out of conference. I would much rather us play some regional FCS, at least one, instead of playing West Florida and Lincoln. Give me Mercer.
Stetson. Why do you keep going to Mercer? You always.
I want to go because Mercer got a respect.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. They're ranked.
All right. I'd rather play Stetson.
Yeah, you scary like that.
Yeah, I am. All right. Let's talk about some NFL Rattlers for a second.
Yes, sir.
We had a good weekend. Awesome picture there by, I think that was the Cowboys or somebody took that photo of Isaiah Land on the left, Marquise Bell on the right, kneeling, probably more so introductions. They played Jacksonville. And then you see Xavier Smith with the Rams. They played. Who was that? They played.
Chargers.
Chargers. Yes. Chargers. Battle of LA Chargers versus the LA Rams, right there in the backyard. I didn't see what Xavier's stats were. Did anybody see what his numbers were? I do have numbers for the Dallas guys. Okay. Did not see. So anybody in the chat saw what Xavier's stats were, let us know. But pretty interesting to see our FAMU Cowboys. As I say, let's get this thing running. Hashtag FAMU Cowboys. I've kind of been putting that out there to see if it'll catch on.
It's killing me too, man, because I've been a lifelong hater, but I got to root for them boys this year, man.
Yeah.
I feel like we've got history though. We got one Hall of Famer.
Yeah, we do.
Potentially might have a second in Nate Newton. Hashtag FAMU Cowboys. Let's see if we can get that trending. But anyway, Marquise Bell had 10 tackles. I think he had 4 solo in that contest to lead the defense. And then Isaiah only really had like 1 tackle, but more importantly, I found this tweet from an editor from Pro Football Focus that noted that Isaiah had the best pass rushing. Well, basically, he said that Isaiah was the best pass rusher against Jacksonville, finishing with 4 pressures and a 26.7% pass rush win rate on first review. That
he had I think he caused like 2 or 3 holding penalties, and he also had a couple of tackles too. I was able to watch that game. I thought he was extremely active. You could tell that he's raw, but they had to account for him, man, because Isaiah motor doesn't stop. He's always moving on the field. So I think he showed his talent. He played up to his talent, and he'll only get better.
And like we said, when he went to the Cowboys in free agency as an undrafted free agent, Dan Quinn, from his days as being the D-line coach back in Seattle before he was the head coach of the Falcons, was known for developing D-line talent, especially speed pass rushers. And he's now I guess in his second year, maybe third year, as the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys under Mike McCarthy.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to watch these guys, and I don't know how many more preseason games. Are they down to playing like 3 preseason games? Is that that's the gist of it? It's down to about 3, right?
I thought it was 2.
Hell,
because they added 2 regular season games, didn't they? Or they only added 1?
I think they only added 1.
And an extra break. They added 1 in a second break. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else football related that we left off? Because I think the next couple notes are non-football related.
No, I think you got them all in pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good to see you, Edwin Moore. Glad you could finally join us. Good to see you. FAMU has a new bowling coach. Capri Howard comes to FAMU. She has a background as a former SWAC student athlete and a Division I coach. Reading from A.D. Sykes' article on FAMU Athletics. She is well equipped for the role. Her expertise, vitality, and genuine passion for the sport, along with her dedication to HBCUs, truly set her apart from a strong field of applicants. I eagerly anticipate providing my support to Coach Howard and the bowling team in their quest for FAMU's first ever SWAC championship. Howard comes from Jackson State University. Excuse me. Where she showcased exceptional talent and leadership as a bowling team member from 2017 to 21. She earned an outstanding performance. She was a 4-time All-SWAC team member. Let's see. She played a crucial role in the team's success with 3 SWAC championship appearances. I don't see that she actually won a SWAC championship, but okay. And let's see. She is pursuing a master's in digital media. So what is it we kind of hinted at? Might there be an opportunity there? What we kind of hint at that she might end up
the bowling
kind of doing a little role?
Yeah, the bowling coach up to this point has been a part-time position. I think we only had about 25,000 on the line So it wasn't a full-time position. With her working on a master's and also having a digital media background, I can see where they may give her some other work with the media department with Josh area, as well as being the bowling coach and perhaps provide some full-time hours. I'm not sure if that's the case, but it would make sense to do that with a low resource school like ourselves. We need the dual thing, but you can kind of look at this, in my opinion, as a budget hire.
Okay. Well, we wish Coach Howard much success. She got a good squad, though. It's got some young talent, good squad, and we just got to find a way to take it to the next notch, I guess, or let's continue to let those bowlers grow. Maybe add in, see if we can get out on the recruiting trail and bring in another talented bowler to go with what we got. Over on the cross-country side of things, of course, we talked with Coach G, Coach Ellenwood last week. Hopefully you guys reached out to him, or you at least shared that show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I mean, I did. A great conversation with him. But the cross-country schedule is out. And there you see it. The competition begins the 1st of September in the North Florida Invitational. They're running meets all through the state of Florida, in Gainesville, Daytona Beach, Tallahassee. And then the season ends in late October with the SWAC Championship.
And for those who don't know, Tallahassee has a championship caliber cross country facility course here. It runs, I think, through the Apalachicola Forest or something like that. But I know that FSU has hosted the ACC, and I know the NCAA has hosted some regional meets at the course here in Tallahassee. So we should have an advantage. We should be familiar with it, and it's one of the top courses in the nation.
All right. Marcus, anything you got to add, just jump in there anytime.
Okay.
Let's see. Well, it's kind of funny that on a day's show when we're talking about the HBCU Band of the Year event, the national competition, the Marching 100 is scheduled to appear in the Pepsi Battle of the Bands, formerly known as, I think, the Honda Battle of the Bands. But it's at NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas. Again, this is not a competition, as we've learned.
Yeah, I think this one is different. They've done this one about 3 or 4 years. I think the Honda still have theirs in Atlanta, but the one in Houston, I think the 100 went about three years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So this is not their first time here.
Right. I think they went to this last year, matter of fact. I think they went last year. So it kind of interesting. I think this will be a lot of buzz with this Battle of the Bands. And I didn't catch the list of the various schools that are going to be there. But hearing what this new competition will look like, I'm sure a lot of these bands will be talking. That'll be the buzz. This Band of the Year thing is huge, man, and people will constantly be talking about it. But it won't take away from the Battle of the Bands. I mean, these are showcase events, and they will sell. They will sell out, and they will. It's a great opportunity to go see bands. So if you're in the Houston area, Texas, you can't pass this up. You're going to see a lot of good HBCU bands, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what is that in the Al Lawson Center? That looks like a new scoreboard. What? With a video monitor. What? You mean they're going to actually show live replays on the big board? Kelvin, tell us more, please.
Well, I don't know how much more I can tell you other than, we have multiple venues that will have new technology, the newer LEDs now. Of course, Bragg Stadium the panels up, and now they're putting the ribbons up along the field house and along the sides of the end zone in Bragg Stadium. They are working on this video board in Lawson, and then they have two smaller videos also that are going up in which Coach Gokon kind of mentioned, going up in Gaither Gym also. And then of course we have the speaker system that's getting ready to go inside of Bragg also. So all these projects are mad dash, mad rush, because the students come back this weekend. The dorms open up and so forth. So, and you know, we have fan day and other things. So there's, you know, some of this stuff has to kind of get out the way. So you know, it's a tight schedule, but yeah, we have a. I'm ready to see it and what it's going to look like and everything. But yeah, we have a new video board in the Lawson Center.
Good times, looking good, and is no the baseball thing that's something else, but what else? What else is there happening? Oh, we already talked about it again.
Tomorrow night,
Next week.
Fan Fest. I'm sorry, the Community Day, sponsored by Commissioner Bill Proctor.
Yeah,
Oh my
Fish
God.
Fry, the annual Fish Fry. Yeah.
Fish Fry next. Wow. Okay. That's. I told you, there's a lot of stuff
You
going
do it
on
every year. Yeah.
And I think SGA is hosting a crab boil. This is the next weekend, next weekend, something like that.
Next one. Yeah.
Man, that's good time. Good time. Look who also is in Lawson Center now. Whoa, it's a new coach. Coach Gordon is in the building. She is on campus. She's officially at FAMU. Saw her. She was at the 220 Club Wednesday afternoon. I still got to go back and watch. So that she's one of the. I think I don't know if she actually spoke. I haven't got that far, but I know she was there. Presented with some nice orange and green gear. But hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to Coach Gordon before the season starts. We're working on it. So hopefully we'll get a chance to kind of see what that roster is going to fill out like. Because, again, she's got some room. She's got some room to add. So that'll be interesting to watch. Welcome to the family, Coach Gordon.
And one thing to mention on that, I mean, not necessarily for us, but it bodes well that it looks like UAPB just got a transfer from another mid-major. They're kind of late in the process. I don't know when she jumped in the portal, but she was the player of the year, I believe, for the WAC, or freshman of the year, and she transferred to UAPB. So what that tells me is, you know, there's some folks still out there. I wasn't really a believer in that, but
I told you there were kids out there. I told y'all there were kids.
Well, I mean, I know their names out there, but I was thinking like the pickings might be slim just because it's so late in the season. But
you know,
that surprised me. It was either Monday or Tuesday when that announcement was made for the player transferring to UAPB, and she was either player of the year or freshman of the year at her former team. I want to say UT San Antonio or something like that. So it was I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, Coach Gordon sounds like she's getting some great reviews by everyone who either was there or watched. So now I'm looking forward to going back and watching her speak at the 220 Club and hear what she had to say. Wish I had found more time to watch it live or watch it beforehand, but I think there's a general excitement about the opportunity. Again, she knows what winning looks like. And so that she can translate to the kids. It's all the other stuff. We'll just see how all the other stuff works. Supposed to be a good recruiter. We'll just see what the in-game basketball stuff looks like. So, Yeah. Speaking of coaches, FAMU baseball FAMU baseball doing a great job, I think, in their recruiting. I really like some of the recruits that FAMU
They
baseball is bringing in, and maybe no better recruit than a coach, former player, former relief pitcher, and Jeremiah McCullum, who I believe just finished up maybe 21, 22.
2 years ago.
Spring
21.
22 or 21, because I think he went to go be a grad assistant at Texas Southern, and now he'll return to FAMU as the pitching coach. So Jeremiah McCullum back to FAMU, won a at that time won a MEAC championship with the 2019 squad. So yeah. So
he was our ace reliever. And a situational starter. He was a pretty solid. He was a good pitcher.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. That'll be good. But among some of the recruiting and just what I'm seeing from I really like what I'm seeing from FAMU.
We've got 4 verbal commitments for class of 2024.
Yeah, that's pretty good. All 2023 is all pretty much done, correct?
Yes. Well, you never know. But I mean, we've got a lot of names and things like that, but I'm really impressed that they've already got 4 verbal commitments for class of 2024, and 23 is solidified already.
And a couple of those guys have they've got options. They're really good players. And I'm loving the size that coach is starting to bring in now. He used to bring in more undersized kids who had good heart and loved the game. And now, just like what we saw in football, he's starting to seem to attract and bring in more kids that actually have the measurements that the Major League Baseball is kind of looking for, with size and speed and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, he's bringing some pretty good sized kids.
Yeah, I wonder how much is a result of winning the SWAC title or just the last 2 years in the SWAC. I'll be interested. I'm sure we'll be talking to Coach in the next couple of months. He always comes in and joins us in the fall. So when we get a chance, let's put a little pin next to that question. Find out how the benefits of recruiting are for him. There's one other event. I know I didn't mention it last time, but it's the FAMU golf tournament, actually next Friday. So that's
baseball.
Speaking of baseball, great timing here. It's baseball's golf tournament. So there's all the information. You can register. I'm trying to see if the cost. It's $100, which does include lunch. You can contact the Golf Club of Quincy, and there are some names there. If you can see in the graphic, all proceeds from this golf tournament are going to benefit FAMU baseball. So this is one of those great fundraising time for the baseball team. And anything that we failed to mention, guys? Anything that I left off of the rundown sheet? Anything that you wanted to add?
I have one thing. Our good friend of the show from the NCAA.com, Stan Beckton, he did a top 3 HBCU player for each position. And of course, the Rattlers were well represented with Moosehead as the second rated quarterback behind Richards from Central. And at the receiver, we had the number 1 and 3 receiver in Shareed and Marcus Riley, who has made some plays, by the way, during the fall. And I think he's going to be a bigger addition than what we realized. To go along with Shareed, Kamari Young was his third best HBCU tight end. Cameron Colvin was his second rated offensive tackle. Gentle Hunt was his second rated defensive tackle. And then Isaiah Major was behind Alabama State linebacker, was the second rated off ball linebacker. Kendall Bowler, third rated cornerback. And Trey Wilhort, the second rated punter. I transferred from Eastern Illinois. So as you look at all no matter what list you look at and all the preseason accolades, Rattlers are represented, which tells you what people think of this team. We all know it, and we just need, the team. I know they'll continue to work hard and put in the work, and we'll see where we at once the ball get kicked off.
Marcus, what do you got to add?
Just a couple updates. Softball is doing some recruiting too. We had 2 signees within the last 8 days, or maybe 1 verbal commitment, 1 signee. Samantha Smith from Grayson High School, but went to Florida Southwestern College in Fort Myers. She's part of a team that won back-to-back and junior college Division I national championships. And if I remember looking at her stats, her ERA was like 2.5 or under for her career. And so she signed with FAMU today.
Wow,
so
okay.
A pitcher. Then we also got an outfielder from a JUCO in Alabama, Jabby. I've forgotten her last name. Look her up real quick. And so we're getting some additions to the softball team in addition to the 4 or 5 freshmen that we signed.
And I'm sure in the upcoming days, you'll put a whole list together of what that looks like.
Yes.
And maybe next week, because it sounds like if we got 4 freshmen coming in plus those 2, that's 6. I mean, and we had about at least 11 spots, if I'm not mistaken, right? To fill?
Well,
ooh.
Yeah, for softball. Yeah.
Softball, yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll have to I haven't seen Corinthian in the chat, but maybe we'll have to ask him to give us an update. We'll try to see what kind of info we can glean off of him. Of course, let's see, we go from there. All right, yes. More info. I'm not sure what information you're looking for, Keith, from the Rattler app, but if you go to the Apple App Store, Google Play, I can tell you it is functioning. It's functioning well. I would encourage you to turn on the notifications when you download it, because it does do a great job every time FAMU posts some information or story. I get a nice little notification here on my phone. See, I got the app pulled up right here. FAMU, great job. So I can read all these articles. I can even I can go to Twitter. All kinds of good stuff, man. Props to, again, Josh Padilla and that entire team that helps put this thing together. This is awesome. Absolutely awesome. I love this. And so the schedules are starting to fill in. I see the volleyball schedule here mixed in with the football. I see the fan day event in here. So it's good stuff, man. Everything you need and want from an app. And I haven't even got over to the video portion because I think you can look at Rattlers Plus on here too. Hadn't even got to that yet. But it's here. I can watch it all right here on the app. Let's see. I have it, but it's that's why you come to us. You come to us for the recruiting. You come to us for the recruiting updates.
That's right. We got Marcus here for a reason.
That's what I look. That's Marcus's specialty. Marcus Green, our recruiting expert,
Guru. You can call him a guru.
Yeah, our recruiting guru. He covers all of the aspects of the recruiting game for FAMU like nobody else.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say. Nobody does it like Marcus. And so we're working on some things though. We're trying to see how we can continue to expand our platform and put it out there so that you guys can consume it a little bit better. So appreciate the work. This weekend, guys, we're going in the lab. We're going to produce our football podcast show. So we're going to talk about the football team until we're blue in the face, and we're going to break down every aspect. We're going to look at every player. We're going to overanalyze the heck out of this thing. But you know, we're going to look at it. We're going to look at everybody, get into some of the statistical trends and stuff like that. So we're working on that this weekend, and it'll probably be pushed out early next week. That's the fingers crossed. So, yeah, we got the 2024. Look, Keith, you coming in to ask for football, asking for 2024 recruit. Maybe we'll release that on the on the podcast. We'll when we do the football podcast, we'll talk about the recruits for 2024. Marcus, I'm telling you, Keith, Marcus keeps track of all of that stuff, all of it. And if you want to bug him to death, there's his Twitter handle at Decatur_G. You can bug the heck out of him, and he'll tell you. But we'd rather you hold your horse and just come to the show on Wednesday nights, and we'll drop the info for you. But good stuff. I have nothing else to give, guys. I am gassed. Long week for me at school. First Monday of the year. Oh, tiresome, man.
Yeah, you had to wake me up today for the show.
I'm telling you, this is the one day that I'm actually up. The last 2 days, literally, I have eaten, and by the time I sit on the couch, I wake up at midnight, and then I'm like, oh, let me go to bed, and then I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So, life of a teacher, right? But mentally, we're planning. We're trying to be there in Miami Gardens for the opening of the season. And, hopefully here in the next week or two, we'll have Coach Simmons on the show, and we'll try to pick his brain. And then we got a couple other surprises that we're working on related to football. I don't want to say it right here because I know people listen to and watch our show, and I don't want them to jump on the idea.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, because I almost said it, and I was like, oh, don't say it, Brian, because somebody will jump on it. But we're working on some things in the background. So that's going to do it for this show. Again, got to thank our guest.
Yeah.
Again.
Great lineup.
Mayor Booker Gainor of Cairo, Georgia, and, of course, the Assistant Director of Branding, Communications, and Marketing for FAMU.
In the Office of Communication.
In the Office of Communications. I forgot that part. Yes, in the Office of Communications. And, of course, remind everybody next week, and we'll put this out again. I'll make sure that we publicize this again next week. But, want to remind everybody you can purchase tickets to the Uncorked event, which is next Friday, August 25th, which is the kickoff to the Great Harvest Festival, which is next Saturday. I almost said something. Yeah, so that's coming up. And then, of course, Don Roberts of DRUMLineLive.com. Make sure to check out DRUMLineLive.com. But, of course, the HBCU Band of the Year competition. What an awesome event. And, I mean, that segment alone is going to be worthy of a lot of sound bites. So I think between talking to John Grant, the executive director of the MEAC SWAC Challenge, the Celebration Bowl, and the HBCU Band of the Year event, and Don Roberts. It's all been covered right here on the Black College Sports Network. So this is where you need to come. You can always look, something new that we've started, memberships. You can join the membership team if you're a YouTube watcher. The membership subscription there. We're going to be dropping exclusive content, doing some post-game shows, things of that nature. But you can help support the Black College Sports Network by on YouTube, youtube.com/myjbnonline/join. I think I even got a banner for that. I should have put that up. But yeah, you can definitely support the show through that means. Yep, there it is right there. youtube.com/myjbnonline/join. Okay, you can be a part of. We've been doing this for 25 years at the Black College Sports Network, and we continue to grow. And some great new shows coming out here in the next week or two. So our show, of course, is every Wednesday, but there's some other great shows that are going to be a part of the Black College Sports Network that you can be a part of as well. And then, of course, Ken Riley. We appreciate Ken Riley for joining us. So that's going to do it for this show. We appreciate all you guys for hanging with us tonight. Share the show. Hit the thumbs up button. Do me a favor, everybody. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the like button, however you're watching. Share the show. Review the show. Rate, subscribe. Follow us on all the social media pages at ONG StrikeZone, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And look for the BCSN Pod Zone for those of you who enjoy the podcast audio version. Kelvin flipped the hat. That means it's time to run down the ramp and let's go. Let's go. We got some Tigers to get on. Coming up in 18 days, baby. 18 days. We coming. We coming, Jackson State. We coming. So that's going to do it for Marcus and Kelvin. I'm Bryan. Bangs up, Rattler Nation. And make sure to strike, and strike again. Peace out, everybody.
Thank you.